Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek Podcast. Hey man, it's Kevin Smith.
Hey, this is Jay Music.
Hey, I'm Scott Snyder.
I'm Cena Grace.
And you're listening
to the Absolute Geek.
The Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek Podcast.
Check it out, Snoogans.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Brian.
Oh, Solo-Key, there it is.
Solo-Key, Brian. Corban.
Travis.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Good stuff.
Okay.
Good.
It's time to wake up, little Corban. Time to wake up, little Corban.
All my content before the show started.
You did kind of use all your content before the show started.
It was Travis's greatest hits.
It was such a good story. We can tell it again. That was great.
True that. Oh man.
Anybody who was tuning into the podcast starting soon screen got to see little sleepy Corban dreaming his dreams and snoring his snores.
Oh my lord.
Corban, why are you so sleepy, buddy? You working hard?
You know, I had a full meal that day. I was tuckered out. It hit me like a brick. We had just went out to eat. I had myself some sliders, some boneless chicken wings. I went and moved on to this giant cookie, and then I'm sitting there talking with Stola. We just hanging out, and all of a sudden, I don't even remember, and I didn't know what that was. It was so embarrassing because we were talking about some dome or something, and like mid-conversation, I don't remember the conversation.
You don't remember it so much you froze.
I fell asleep.
And you
freeze. Out, man.
And then I woke up.
All of out of nowhere.
I froze
I'm driving and I look over.
A new router's on the way. My Wi-Fi has been historically bad.
Yeah, he was just
sleep.
He got his full tummy, and you know how you give like your kids the bottle, and then you take and drive them around to put them to sleep. And that was he had a full tummy and drove him around a little bit, and it was.
Oh man!
Mid sentence, it was great.
If he keeps working out, he's gonna get too big for that car seat too. It's gonna be a real sad day.
They're not getting any cheaper either.
Oh, y'all are a mess. That was a fun day though.
That was a great day.
He had a big day. We did some comic book hunting. We went to Fantastic World in Scottsdale. Did some comic book hunting. He did some master negotiating. Just some master negotiating like I've never seen before. If you need to anything negotiated in your life, prenup, divorce, buying a car, buying a house, the transaction of a small child, Corban is the man. Corban's the man to go to. He is a master negotiator. He's gonna get you whatever you want for a good price.
All right, can we see these skills, Corban? Like, what's your angle on it?
Yes, Corban, please show us your master skills at work.
Sir, right. I can check you out right over here, sir. You just come around the side of the counter.
Well, yeah, okay, so we were there. I saw this. I don't have it behind me. I'll grab it later. This
No, I think you need to grab it now for context.
Okay, give me a sec.
We need perfect context for your master negotiating skills.
Oh my lord.
We gotta have it. These blew my mind.
Dirt.
Yeah, you gotta see everything in action. It's a whole thing, and you gotta have it all in action because it just doesn't do it justice. But while we're waiting for Corban, how's everyone doing this week? Good stuff all the way around.
Oh, Brian looks a little, he's got a fan on him. Ooh. You look like you're on the top of the Titanic there, buddy. I like that hair like the wind blowing in your hair, dude.
You represent.
No, that's what Brian looks like. He's got the hair. It's chewy and Hoth, man.
Oh yeah, exactly.
All right,
you got that Hoth hair.
Yeah.
The stage is yours, Corban.
Okay, I saw this like Jim Lee, Jeff Loeb, Scott Williams, Batman Noir Hush, right? Or Batman Hush Noir, with the really cool artwork and the black and white. And I was like, okay, I like this book. I'm trying to wrap my head if I want this or not. And I looked and I asked him, what price it was, and he said it's cover price. Well, cover price is $40. And I was like, I don't know, because it's kind of dirty, there's some marks over here and right there, and like there's a dent in here, it's like, wait, where is it? Boom, right there. And there's some other minor damage, but enough that it's not going to be a book I put on my wall. It's going to be like a really good looking reader copy. And so I'm like, I'm going to see if I can haggle him a little bit, right? So I told the guys I was going to try, and I was trying to wait till everyone else to buy their stuff, because I thought we were going to have some lengthy negotiations here. So I go up to him and I'm like, this book is $40, but I kind of want to haggle with you. I think it's a little dirty. And then he said, okay, 25. And I said, okay, sold. And that was the deal.
Wow. What a master stroke of genius. That is.
The words, I kind of want to haggle with you, never came out of his mouth, by the way. It was, he walks up to me and he's like, I think I'm going to ask for a discount on this because it's kind of dirty. And I was like, all right. And he walks up to the counter and he's like, yeah, so I want to get this, but it's kind of dirty. So, and he was like, $20. And Corban was like, done. The words, I think I want to haggle with you, or would you be willing to haggle, never came out of his mouth. It was just the most awkward, stumble through you've ever seen, because he's like, well, it's kind of dirty. Instead of just being like, hey, so I was wondering if you'd be able to take this price for it, because, it is kind of dirty, and he didn't point out the defects in the book at all, except other than the dirt, and he's like, oh, $25, and Corban's like, sold.
Well, in fairness, the shop owner didn't even really give him time. The shop owner knew. He was like, I want the book off my shelf.
Right.
I just want it gone. Who else am I going to sell this to? How about 25? He didn't even give him time. And Corban's like, okay. He was waiting, and then it was just, it shocked Corban. And Corban's like, okay. And walked out with the book. It was great. It was perfect. I was like, damn. We were all like, damn. How much for that Hulk 181, boss? Got a little dirt on it.
Yep,
Get him, Corban. Come on.
That's the master way for Corban to negotiate, is you just walk in and be like, there's a little dirt on it, and it's going to get you your price.
Damn it, I missed it. Damn it.
Kyle did bear witness.
I missed the negotiating skills. God damn it.
You did.
How's it going, Kyle? We had a full group. Okay.
We did.
Mad skills.
I was going to take the night off, and I was sitting there, and I was at the grocery store. I was like, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to go to bed early. I had a rough week. I'm like, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to take the night off, and I'm at the grocery store, and I automatically got a bottle of whiskey, automatically got Red Bull.
A couple of dirty melons you got a discount on. Yeah.
These melons are dirty. This bottle of whiskey here, this handle, got a little dirt on it.
I got it for
25.
I got it for fucking 11 because it was, see how it's got a sticker on it? I was like, look at this dirty ass fucking sticker right here.
Oh, man.
We're all learning mad Corban skills. That's why you hang with the comic book barbarian.
That's right.
Because he teaches you
the reason he's a fucking barbarian.
He's the Bargarian. Now he's the Bargarian.
That's right.
So not only did we see his master negotiating skills, we got to see his top-notch food ordering skills in play too.
Oh no!
Mixed with his listening skills. As we go out to lunch and we're at Chili's sitting down, and the waiter comes up and goes, "Hey, can I start you guys off with something to drink?" And here's Corban. Yeah, I want this
half the goddamn menu.
I want this like 6 chicken platter, and I want are these sliders? Just ordering food, and we're like still looking at the menus, and Corban's ready to go. He's like, "I'm not messing around. Screw your drinks. I want my food."
I did not hear him say that, and it wasn't until I looked around. You guys were like, "Oh, okay, Corban." I was like, "Wait, what? We're not." I thought you asked, "Are we ready?" I heard what I wanted to hear. I messed up. That was so fun.
Solid, man. You were into it. You're like, "Hey, what's this? Can I get that? Let's get some of these and dish it on over here." And then, I mean, you were on top.
3 of
it.
these, and I want 4 of these, and I want fucking dessert, and I want fucking everything. Oh yeah, I guess I'll get something to drink too.
Oh my god,
Garcon, how are the chimichangas tonight? Okay, yes, we'll have some for the table.
He did not get a Long Island iced tea because they did not have the flavor iced tea he wanted. So
he ordered the Long Island iced tea. Hold the Long Island.
Yep.
But like, real quick, like that last Saturday was it? Well, I measured my life in pay periods like every 2 weeks, and like. That was the best dang day
I live my life a pay period at a time.
Yes.
What is your life if you measure it in pay periods at a time?
Is it really worth living? I don't know. I struggle with that one in dark.
Is my life really worth it this week? I don't get paid till next.
That was a good Saturday. That was
man.
fun.
That was
pay period at a time.
Dude.
That was a 12-hour comic book like search and digging and diving and hanging out with good friends like that. I mean, that's what really got us all into this whole hobby, isn't it? I mean, just going out and hanging with your buddies and making jokes and shooting the shit, running into people that watch the podcast right there in the
That
comic
was so
book
weird.
store.
That was so awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah.
You guys got to talk about that. How that happened, because that was crazy.
So one happened to me, and I was awkward all day. So I walked in. I just walked
Travis is like gonna spit his drink out.
I mean, well, I think we had a couple of them all in the same store. It was like 3 or 4, but one of them goes up and he's like, "Oh, just quiet," like looking in the books, and he's like, "Oh, I listen to podcasts." And at first, I was like,
"Well, it took him a while. Like he was like that. Are you talking about the guy that was holding the box of comics?
The short.
No,
box.
I think you were with me on this one. This one was the one where he goes, "I listen to podcasts," and I go, "What?" And I go, "Oh, me too." That one.
Was that the dude who was talking to you about his experience at another comic book shop?
Yeah, I ended up running into him. Yeah, he was because me and Kyle, it was like 2 or 3 people. Anyway, that guy was the same guy. Yeah, because he was on his way out when we talked. And
he was holding those two sacks of stuff that he had.
Yeah, and the shop owner brought up the show. Yeah, and then there was like 2 other experiences. Something we made fun of. And he's like, "Oh, you say that on the next show." And then like 2 more.
What he was talking about was he was talking. They were talking about divorce, getting divorced.
He said, "Yeah, 3." Yeah,
and he said, "I've gotten divorced 3 times. What I've learned is." He's like, you can put this on the podcast. He's like, comic books and wives. He's like, it's something about it not meshing. I'm assuming he had a lot of cool comics, and the wife knew, just like my wife knows. Sell. No. He knows what things are worth, and I'm pretty sure his wife, being around him, he knows what it's worth, and I'm sure he lost a few good collections.
Yeah, he was saying he had a couple of Batman or I forget. Some early action comics, early Batman, but I forgot the other. It was like 2 or 3 people, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was the one kid, and then the guy that was holding the box, and we were all like, "God, what's in the freaking box, man?"
Dude, I was saying,
dude, you're walking through a store with a box, like, what's in the damn box?
Dude, everybody's
killing us.
Yeah. Watching him like he's like, we're like vultures, and he's a dead piece of meat. I was like, what's in the box? He'd walk by and he didn't say shit. I was like, he'd walk by again, and you could tell he was kind of nervous to say anything to us because he's like holding this box like this, like it's 1986, and he's got a goddamn boom box. And he's listening to the Beastie Boys.
He's the milkman. He's coming to deliver some cream for you.
And he's looking at like pops and shit. He's picking the box up, putting it down. I'm like, hey, what's in there? Nothing. It didn't even crack at a smile. Didn't even look at the box. Just pretend like I didn't say a goddamn word.
Yeah, it was. It's. I don't know if it was weird though. When people
I think I even said, "Ooh, Snyder." I was like, "Ooh, Batman box." It was the box. Now the box is on the ground. Like I was saying shit, and then finally he's like,
It was Schrodinger's cat.
"It was either there was comics in it or there wasn't."
Yeah.
You know, like he's like, is this the guy who's like, do you like podcasts? You know, it was like his pet iguana that he carries around.
Probably.
So there's some sort of like reptile, half dead reptile in that box.
He just carries it everywhere it goes, or it's like the end of fucking 7.
Yeah. What's in the box?
But it made me realize, like, so you have half naked chicks in lingerie or whatever, and then you have like total nerdy dudes holding a box, and we're all, there's your options, and guys are normally like of our nerdiness or like, what's in the box? Like, I know what she's holding, I can see most of it. What do you got in the box?
What is in the box?
What's in the box?
I could just see you guys like the beginning of the Beatles' Hard Day Night movie where you're just running from fans down the street with your comics in your hand, just hoofing it.
With a hard day.
Right?
Yeah, that was interesting though. And I've actually, because I don't get out much, never had that like interaction before. Oh, I listen to this, all this and that. I was like, wow.
Well, how long since your last pay period have you been out?
Yeah, since you measure life in pay periods.
What really is how it goes. I get paid. I spend a lot of it on frivolous stuff that I probably shouldn't. Like this past week, I'd already spent like a quarter of it on mystery boxes before we hung out Saturday. Then I got a great deal from Brian on some books, and I bought this book. And then I filled up my gas tank, and then insurance, and then boom, I'm poor. And I'm living to the next paycheck where I'll spend on more things I'll immediately regret. And so that's just a function of how it happens. If I get a chance to hang out with people during that time, then yes. If not, and especially during this COVID time, then it is what it is,
Do you have a bad habit? Do you shop under the influence? Like, do you get some like beers in you? And you're like, all right, I'm gonna buy this now. Click, 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 or I'm gonna go to the store and buy this.
Guilty.
No, I've had my.
He gets a couple iced teas down, and all bets are off.
Yeah. No,
Kyle's like, all I need is some whiskey and clickbait.
There's nothing like waking up in the morning and seeing that you have like 7 invoices to pay.
Yeah.
You're like,
Kyle's like 11, double down.
you're nervous. I know you've done it too, Travis.
Oh, I've definitely done it.
Oh, what is it? What is it? Oh, damn it.
When the most messages you get from anyone that day is from PayPal?
You have an overdue invoice waiting for you.
Or you bid like $800 on a Spider-Man 129 that you don't have, and you're like, oh God, please outbid me. Please outbid me. Please outbid me.
These comic gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't do it on the influence. I've had my embarrassing moments with that. Never again. But I'm one of those guys who like, I'll make a shopping list while I'm broke. And then when I get paid, I just go to the list and click on it. And then like it happened. And then I move on. So it's like a moment of just absent-minded spend. And then we wait. So like I had this $50 mystery box I was really excited about that I started to have second thoughts on it before I bought it. But I bought it anyway. And then like it came in, we recorded yesterday, Matt?
Yeah,
Yep.
tell us how those boxes went.
I thought it wasn't the $50 box.
I got a $50 box and a $10 box, and I got mixed up on which one was coming. The $10 box hasn't come yet. No, $10 box and $20 box.
If that was your $50 box, you got screwed.
Exactly.
That was my $50 box. Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, watching Tales from the Spinner Rack, that is my favorite segment.
Really?
I think it's cool that you're helping the rest of the community. Like, hey, don't buy these boxes because look, I didn't get anything.
Dude, it's awesome because you're like, I bought a mystery box. Let's see what it is. So now I'm like, I'm vested with you. I'm like, okay, what did we get, Corban?
Yeah. You turned Tales from the Spinner Rock into an unboxing video. Congratulations.
A little segment of it, yeah. That's great.
Unboxing rack.
I get so hyped. I've been lucky the last 2 times we've done it, literally within hours. And Matt knows, like the boxes come in the same day, and I'm like, Matt, guess what? He's like, you got a box? I'm like, yes. And then we get it. So it's been even more fun. The hard part is waiting and then finding out. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. Except being shackled with a bunch of comics that, I'm going to read because I'm a reader, but
he's going to put in a box next to the water heater.
Now, see, as friends, we probably shouldn't do this, but what we totally should do is gather a bunch of really good books and put them in a box and just fan mail them to Corban. Yeah. And then at the very bottom of it, be like, by the way, you have to give all our books back. Like this is on you, buddy. This wasn't the best. This wasn't the best box in the world.
I would be crying. I would lose my mind. Oh, a number one! I was hyped about me and Matt. We were talking about what number one I'd get in my box, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a good one. He's like, oh yeah, it's not gonna be like an Action Comics or whatever. And I saw it was Symbiote Spider-Man number one. For a moment, I was getting hyped, and then Matt's like, that's Symbiote Spider-Man. I was like, oh yeah, it sucks.
I have a number one for you, Corban. Do you need a number? I got a number one.
A number one?
I'll tell you or send you a number one.
Oh man,
I've done one mystery box though.
I've
done one mystery box. It was a mystery short box of Image comics.
Whoa! How was that? I mean, you never done another one, so I guess it wasn't good, right?
They're not too bad.
Like for some reason, I was like, "What's
Chad bought them all."
He was part of that when he bought.
It actually panned out a little bit. I won't lie.
For some reason, I was like, "I bet you there's a Walking Dead." It was before I had Walking Dead number one. I was like, "I bet you there's a Walking Dead number one in here." I'm gonna get the score of a lifetime, and I was like, "Spawn Medieval, Spawn Medieval, Spawn Medieval." Fucking, I can't even remember what was in there. Fucking Wildcat, like it was a bunch of oddball shit in there. Guaranteed. Well, I remember part of the ad was guaranteed no doubles.
Wow.
To the guy who sent that, you're a fucking liar.
Yeah.
That's a great segue for a question I have. What do you think, Kyle? Since you're the Walking Dead man, here comes Negan again. What's up with that?
I tip my cheers. I'm so excited.
Yeah, because I can maybe start selling my Walking Dead stuff now.
So explain to me, because I only know a little bit, because there's no necrophilia. Darn it. The TV show was good for what, 2 years, barely.
Barely.
And now it's just, I don't even watch it anymore.
Are you telling me that when you see a zombie movie coming out, you're like, oh, sweet, some necrophilia?
Exactly, yeah.
A man's got a dream, you know. It's like, hey, one day, an episode of something is going to be like, hey, throw necrophilia in there, because I guarantee you, as many crazy people in the world as there is, if zombies come, it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it will happen because there is a lot
Chad
of
will be the first one in line.
His ass.
And I'll be like, wow, that dude's messed up.
No, you'll be right there.
I've seen
like,
that on the
Walking
Walking Dead.
Guy right there.
Yeah. My time has come.
I'm making money off this one.
He's like, Walking Dead, more like Walking Head. Come here, sweetheart.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
Turns out, never mind.
So what's up with the storyline? Negan's coming back. They're doing a whole nother book. It's just Negan. What's the lowdown on the lowdown, Kyle?
Matt talked about it yesterday. I'm sure he has the article still.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much about it. It comes out July 1st. You're finding out what Negan did between the time he left the group, and then the final issue. So it's just kind of filling in gaps. And Kirkman and Adlard, they said we're done in this sandbox. We're not going to play in here anymore. And now they're coming back and to try to help retailers and comic book shops. They're giving back to the people that give them a career. So they're releasing this special issue just for shops. And I believe
it's just one issue.
It's just one issue.
They're
not
giving it to them free.
Yeah, they're giving it to shops for free to sell. So, yeah.
Let's try to guess what we think it's about. I think it's going to show Negan sitting in a house the entire book, pondering.
You think it's going to be a ruse?
3 pages.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's only one book.
Yeah,
3
it's
pages.
only one issue. One issue.
It's going to be him making that bat he made or whatever.
No, 'cause that's the last time we
shows it whittling it on a lathe.
Yeah.
that's the last time we saw Negan in the
closer and closer, and then pan back out, and that's the book.
That's the last time we saw him in the comic is when he broke the second Lucille that he made, and he had the confrontation with Maggie, and she left him, and that was it. That was the last we saw him in the comics. So who knows? There's
I already said what I think it should be, but
what, necrophilia?
yes.
You think he should just start banging out zombies?
Well, I think Negan was one of the craziest dudes on there that might be into that. Between him and Governator.
I hope he's got a beard like Chad. He's wearing like a hood, like he's a Jedi Knight hiding, and it's just him kind of like sitting in a house making stew.
Making his lightsaber. That'd be cool. I'd buy that book.
He's just stirring the pot. I used to be goddamn Negan.
With Lucille. He's stirring the pot with Lucille.
I used to run shit.
Well, I just heard about that, and I wondered how excited you were or were not, Kyle, because I know you're a big Walking Dead guy. You love that.
Anything Walking Dead coming out is exciting.
Well,
Yeah, especially with the hiatus it's been on. Anything Negan coming out is exciting. He is by far one of the best villains in comics. So
it was. They did do a good job on Negan.
But they really shit the bed in the show.
Yeah.
yes, they did.
They got Limbo Negan.
Yeah, I'm looking to see there. Yeah, that's that. They don't really talk about the storyline of it.
Keep it a surprise.
Travis, how do you feel about
Fuck
the Walking
you,
Dead?
fries.
I read it in single issues up to except for I read the first couple trades up to 100, and then I stopped reading it. Not for any other reason than just I got sidetracked with other stuff. But I dropped off at 100, and I dropped off the show like 3 seasons ago.
Right when it started when they started dragging the show out.
Yeah, it just seemed, and again, it wasn't one of those things where it was just like, oh, I hate the show. It was just there's so much other good content coming out, and I'm still gonna go back and the best about Walking Dead comic fans is they don't spoil anything, even years after issues have come out. Like I don't hear people, oh, this is that story arc where this happens, or where Negan fucks that corpse, or whatever.
That only
it
happens
is.
in Chad's Walking Dead universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard the Snyder edit? Guess what?
Yeah.
It's the Chad.
The solo Wookiee edit.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking it up.
Looking at
Zombie porn, bitches. Yeah, that's right. Come check this out. Everybody be watching again. They'll be like, wow, I don't know what happened, but this show got really good all of a sudden.
This book is really dirty. This book is dirty. Can I get a discount? Sir, it's pristine. No, the content's filthy.
The content in here is so dirty. How about $5? Okay.
Can I get a discount on this Walking Dead? It's filthy.
Terrible.
I love that shit, man. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna bypass this whole entire fucking bartering thing. I'm just gonna lowball myself, and he's gonna take it.
That's exactly what it is.
As he's boarding, Corban is wanting to barter over this $40 trade as he's bagging Captain America 100.
Yeah.
Fucking
First Ant-Man.
First Ant-Man. Fucking.
He's like, hey, check this out. First appearance of Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Golden Age after Golden Age bagging it. Hey, how about this book's got a little dirty, 25? Like, I don't care. I'm holding like fucking $800 right
Here's
here,
Silver
dude.
Surfer 1. Here's Silver Surfer 4.
Right.
Oh, I want the black and white hot.
Oh my god. Yeah, I failed. Next time, baby. Okay.
Brian,
next paycheck, baby.
Yeah. I already got like 20 books again earmarked at Brian's. I love doing this.
I have to say that's a big shout out to Fantastic World Comics. So, how many comic shops can you truly go in and barter on a new item?
Yeah.
No, that dude's super cool,
Like,
man. That
there's
dude's legit.
that's.
Or
I
the
mean,
extent of your barter is there's a little dirt on this. $25 out the door.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, how many shops have you gone to and be like, oh, hey, can I get this? No, we don't barter. We're a fucking store.
Yeah.
Right.
No, he's like, fuck it. A sale is a sale. That's
Well, especially, have you not been there before? Did he know you, Corban? Like, especially someone coming in off the streets, you don't know.
Yeah, I'd only been there once before, and he wasn't there.
Okay, yeah,
But he knows
even
all
more.
of us from the show.
Okay. Well, then that.
Yeah.
Well, he knew me. I didn't know. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got kind of like celeb status there. Maybe that's what it was.
So weird, but
It
it felt like minor. It was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Like
Dude,
when
we
you
should
go
get
like
fur
you go
coats on.
to the Oscars and you get a little gift bag action going on there. Yeah, I like that.
I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, you like? Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Great store,
$25 for
super
that trade.
clean, very well organized.
Silver
Lots
Surfer
of
4.
good books.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good store. I liked it. I love the way he's had it set up and clean and everything.
Yeah.
What's
nice
the,
shop.
what are the crossroads of that? You said it's in Scottsdale?
Yeah, I'll look up the address. If you
Somewhere far away and off the freeway.
93 North 90th Street.
Right
Sound
there.
like Frank Lloyd Wright and Bell, right?
Just about.
Oh,
Right.
okay, yeah.
Frank Lloyd Wright
There,
and
yeah.
101.
Oh wow, yeah, it is kind of north.
Yeah, Michael
Brian?
Stott says Corbin breaks out the "Do you know who I am?"
What's your take? You're a great spec guy. You write a lot of that, and you're normally pretty in the ballpark with it. So,
Well, what do you mean?
Negan?
Oh,
New
my
Negan.
Negan. I want it. I think they're fucking up without it being an ongoing. What a fuck
Yeah.
up! People want Negan. They want the ongoing.
It's going to be it's a 36-page issue, black and white, and it's available exclusive comic shops. But there's going to be an extremely rare gold variant and silver foil variant for the covers.
Now, if Kirkman only has a limited amount of time, he's a busy guy, and so only so many projects he can work on. Would you prefer it to be, Brian? Would you prefer he use his time doing what you know is like a character you like and continuing that story with like a Negan ongoing series, or for him to go out and try something new and be like something shit we haven't even heard of yet?
Say that again. The first part.
All right, Jack. Hold on to the bow of the ship a little tighter. No, so we have Kirkman. He's out. He's like, oh god, I gotta pay attention now. So he has a limited amount of output, right? You know, he's a busy guy. He can either write a Negan ongoing series, or he can go off and do something new, right? Start something new. Would you rather go with the proven? I know I'm going to like a Negan series, or do you want him spending that time developing something new that we haven't seen yet?
I want to see him hand the reins over to somebody like Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's see what Garth Ennis can do with Negan. I mean, let's let somebody else play with that character.
Yeah,
play in that
I mean,
sandbox.
Garth Ennis has written probably about 100 Negans in his career in different, between Hitman and Punisher Max and Preacher.
Jennifer Blood. I just finished reading that. But holy shit, is crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And guess what? If Garth Ennis is writing Negan, somebody is going to fuck a corpse in that for sure.
Well, I'm surprised he does. Brian K. Vaughan. He let Brian K. Vaughan play a little bit in the Alien one-off, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think there's something more to it. I think this is just a taste, because it's kind of interesting that this is dropping July 1st, and then they also announced him as going to be the first panelist for the San Diego Comic-Con at Home panels. So it's interesting that an evening with Robert Kirkman is the first panel that's announced. So maybe we're going to get a little bit more from the Walking Dead universe.
I wonder if they're not putting it out there as a teaser, like a little taste of like, hey, what can we do? Is there still a market for this? Is there?
Oh, he knows there's a market.
Maybe we drop a Negan, and then if it does good, we look at doing a long-term thing, or we look at doing another spin-off of it and try and hand the mantle over like Brian was talking about, or who knows? But
Me and Matt can write it.
Yeah, there you go. Build a whole world out of just what happened by the time he left Rick's group to the end of the book. So
I challenge you, Kirkman, to let me and Matt write it.
Well, I mean, they turned around and they did Fear the Walking Dead. So I mean, that was a whole nother spin-off show. So why not have a little segment? If hell, MASH had Trapper John MD. Look at all. I mean, there's always a spinoff, right? You can always kind of carry it on.
I love Trapper John reference. That's great.
Yeah, but how many references are actually not references? Jesus Christ! How many spinoffs have actually been good?
Comic spinoffs or
Just-
spinoffs in general?
Spinoffs in general,
Oh, I can think of a ton.
like what?
Jefferson's.
Frasier.
Yeah,
I
Frasier.
okay. I get yeah. Frasier's good.
Jeffersons were good.
I'd love to see a Negan Frasier. You best be believing I'm knocking off a zombie's head. He's got like a quirky brother who's like, "Oh, Negan, this place is a mess."
Negan's dad's there.
That would be,
Negan's
would
dad's
be
there.
awesome.
He's got a little zombie dog who's always chatting and pissing him off.
Go find a.
I tossed my salad after I scrambled his eggs. The zombies are coming again.
Guys, I'm gonna go to top 10.
You
I'll be
best me a Negan.
Okay, Brian.
The walkers are calling again.
Zombie brains all over my face.
That'd be great.
But that's a good segue with The Walking Dead, as we're going to talk a little bit here about conspiracy theorists got it wrong, and they're saying that the brains aren't as smart as they think they are, and the Mayan calendar was interpreted wrong, and that the end of the world is actually supposed to be Sunday, the 21st.
Thank God.
Father's Day is going to be the end of the world. That giant meteor that Kyle has been just panning and pushing and campaigning to be sent into space to drill out is
Said
going to
I'd
hit
drill a
Earth.
hole and drop a nuke in it.
Yep,
Said
it's
I'd
gonna
do
hit
it.
hit the Earth and end the world.
Yeah, you spent a lot of money on that telescope setup too, Kyle. So it's finally starting to pay off for you.
Go get my phone book. Go get my phone book. Go get my goddamn phone book. Do I look like Kyle's slave? Go
Well,
get my phone book.
I have one statement and one question. One, the guy who actually did land a rover on an asteroid, because it has been done, is totally this tattooed up nerdy guy that collects comic books and did it from like the basement of his home with
His name's
like
Solo
a
Wookie.
joystick. And the guy was, I mean, he was awesome, and he came out and he's just like, yeah, I did it, and like he's got like horror comic tattoos on his head. The guy was awesome. And my next question is that cover? So if you go up there and you try and land that rover on that asteroid, is that cover with Supergirl on it, and she's just riding the asteroid, and it's coming towards Earth?
Now you're going to see Stan Lee sitting there waiting for the Watchers. Just going to keep
There you
flying
go.
by. Corbin's going to sleep through it.
Excelsior!
Yep.
It zooms by at 22,000 miles an hour.
Excelsior is a great name for a planet. Someone's got to name a planet after Stan Lee and like call it like Excelsior. Like in
Excelsior,
some galaxy.
Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, a marvelous collision. Okay.
Take up a fund and take up a fund and
We'll
name
do
a
the
star
Absolute
after him.
Geek Excelsior star.
Yep.
Speaking of Stan Lee, how long is it till we see a biopic on that guy? Like,
I'm
you
actually
know,
surprised it hasn't
going
been
through-
done already.
I
But
thought it
quite
would
a
be
few-
done when he was alive.
There's quite a few like biographies and crap out there that
Yeah.
they ran one on Netflix, and they've ran like 4 on Netflix.
Yeah. Has any actor played Stan Lee in anything? Like, I mean, because we had Stan Lee for so long, who would just play Stan
J.K.
Lee.
Simmons.
I imagine we give it like
That would be a great one. That would be a great
J.K.
one.
Simmons should play Stan Lee. Huh?
He would be great. Yeah.
if we give it like 6 or 7 years, I could see Tom Hanks playing him. Plays everyone else.
He's America's dad.
So
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Thank you.
Not
I,
bad
just,
either.
I might flip to the Couch Countries. That's a good movie cast. I'm not really good with the movie castings, but that's solid.
I don't know. I don't know how much of the fact that the end of his life was marred with so much controversy that maybe that's why you haven't seen a biopic on him yet. But
Like the right, me as far as like who has the rights to Stan Lee's story.
No, I'm talking about the
we don't,
fact
we don't
that-
have to do the end of his life. Kind of like the Johnny Cash documentary where they only take like the kind of rise or something like that. We could pick a period like where he's first starting to work at Marvel. That'd be the best period, right? Is that getting into Marvel and meeting working with Kirby and
Ditko and
you could end it in the 70s and it would be a
I think
good.
I think you would see it more like when his daughter needs money and she's hard up and she needs to get millions quick, and then she would start shopping the rights to that movie. But
Yeah.
I'd watch it. I mean, if it's true to form where you just see like how sleazebaggy some of these guys were, and how like underhanded businessmen they were, and like I want to see all that. Like I would love to see like a Bill Finger, Bob Kane movie, and you just see like how underhanded they are. And
it'd be gritty, man. If you told the true story, it would be gritty, and I think it would change a lot of people's persona.
As long as we get the Snyder cut.
Yeah. That biography, The Untold Story of Marvel, really doesn't paint Stan Lee in the best light. I mean, he was a tyrant when he needed to be, and in that industry, he needed to be it a lot to get the best work out of it. And he wasn't always he wasn't always so gracious in his young age about giving credit where credit was due.
That's how Matt is.
I'm what? What am I? Don't give you credit where credit's due.
And you're kind of a tyrant.
Yeah, I am a tyrant.
Tipping us off, man, every other day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one story in Untold Marvel history. They were talking about it was one of the biggest blackouts in like New York. I think it was in the 1970s, and it was almost like a whole day of blackouts. And so everyone in New York, the offices, everyone's just going home on Madison Avenue. Everyone's going home, and Stan's like, "You guys aren't going anywhere. Light some candles and get the fucking drawing because we got shit to do." And they were stuck in the middle of summertime. No AC, none of this stuff, just on Madison Avenue, just into the wee hours of the morning, just under candlelight, drawing and plotting out these things.
What a jerk.
But
yeah,
I think
Stan was in his office fucking a zombie. It was crazy, man.
You see a lot about I think you see a lot of the dirty underhandedness, and Stan isn't painted in the best light in that because him and Kirby both kind of lived longer, where Bill Finger he disappeared into obscurity and died, and so Bob Kane just milked that Batman for all he could, you know, and you kind of got to see a little bit more of the Kirby Lee situation play out than the Bill Finger Bob Kane stuff did. So
that's my grandpa's name.
What, Bill
Kirby
Finger?
Lee?
Bill Finger.
Bob Kane.
Oh, Bob Kane.
Oh, I mean, it's just
With a C or a K.
It's with a C. I was like, did you make Batman?
Key and Peele can be hit or miss, but they did a little skit off of
it's a lot of miss, Corbin. There's a lot of miss there.
I like Key and Peele. I love it.
Key and Peele too. I think they have some that are funnier than others, but their Stan Lee one is hilarious. I would imagine y'all haven't checked it out. Y'all should have.
Key and Peele are funny. I got a show for you Saturday nights at 7:00.
No, but they have one about Stan Lee, basically like, in his late 80s, early 90s, they're trying to take over with Marvel, and he has all these like horrible ideas, and these writers are like, dude, we can't kick this man out. And then they finally say, hey, listen, man, you're a legend, we love you, but this doesn't work. Like, some of these things are racist, some of these are outdated, it's just not gonna work. And then he is basically, I can't tell the joke, but he basically says, okay, well, I made fucking Marvel, so if you don't like it, I'll fire you right now. and they're like, great idea, Stanley, you're amazing. And he's like, Excelsior. And you gotta watch it. Right? You have to watch it. So that's the one thing I would just recommend. But
it reminds, and also the Gremlins 2 skit where he's pitching Gremlins 2. It's hilarious.
I think I have to watch that one because that's not the best Gremlins movie.
No.
But so it's already been mentioned twice here now. Speaking of trash and the Snyder cut, Zack Snyder says that in his universe, the Robin who dies is Dick Grayson.
Bullshit.
So I got to go to our resident Dick Grayson fan and Kyle.
Fuck off,
resident Dick.
Our resident Dick, Grayson fan.
He prefers
Chad will agree with me here. It's
Richard Grayson. Yeah, fucking
Rick Grayson.
Richard
Grayson.
What a
Sir! It's Sir Richard Grayson.
Hi, Richard.
What a stupid Robin to kill.
But yeah, and
that
it's kind of
takes
like
everything
why?
out of context. That's terrible.
Yeah,
why
exactly.
would you even do that? You screw up the Red Hood. You screw up. Fuck.
Have you seen Justice League? I think
on,
screwing up the Red Hood is the least of his worries.
It's funny. This whole Snyder Cut thing is funny when you're saying maybe because that's not even gonna be in the Snyder Cut. So like he's talking about his vision. It's the ultimate fan like internet troll thing. Well, yeah, I was gonna kill off Robin. You're like, but yeah, you're not. You don't have control of it anymore. Bye. See ya. Bye. I don't want to like hear your. No.
Yeah, his little trailer with Wonder Woman
trailer.
Yeah.
I like that. Teasing Darkseid. Snyder Cut's gonna be fantastic.
There's a little trailer for the Snyder Cut already.
Yeah.
It's a little Wonder Woman trailer. Let me see if I can find
It's
it.
a little two-wheel trailer, and it's being pulled behind like a BMW from like 1972, and it's got just little wheels and a little trailer, and it's just being pulled. And you look over, and you're like, that looks like shit.
It sounds like a Harley.
Check it out. Sure.
Dick Grayson seems like a Miata man to me.
A convertible.
Would it be a convertible green one?
A little pre-show callback.
It's got to be a green convertible, right?
That's right. That's right. With the model from Tony's from Iron Man sticking out of the back, in the back. He's like, hey, wait, super energy conductor.
It's a Lego set of
right here in the back.
a Lego set of He-Man's Grayskull castle in the back popping out.
Here you go. I'll show you the
But
trailer.
the fact that it's not Jason Todd is stupid.
I agree. Here's the Snyder Cut
All right,
trailer.
Cool. Already been robbed, and they've heard it. Out in the dark, among the stars.
Who's my computer? Oh, it's mine.
No,
Sorry.
the goddess.
Fuck off.
That's
Back it
it.
up.
Huh? What'd she say, Kyle?
I said, fuck off. Back it up. And
I heard that twice.
say that 7 seconds again.
You want to play it again?
I kind of like Jesse Eisenberg's. I like his performance there, his vocal performance.
I had goosebumps on my. Well,
You want me to play it again, Kyle?
Yes.
On your zombie? You had goosebumps on your zombie, Corbin?
Yeah.
The bells
I'm at the.
already been robbed.
I can't. Where's the volume, man? Come on now.
Well, you can't hear it?
No.
Oh, my God. Hold on.
I'm the one with technical difficulty. No, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
What
The
Fool.
the
bells
hell is she looking down?
already been robbed, and they've heard it. Out in the dark, among the stars.
This sounds like the guy who came up to Corbin and was like, "Do you like podcasts?"
Give it to me. Look at my veins.
Nah.
So what is it that she's looking down with all the hieroglyphs and shit on it? Is that supposed to be the boom tube? And then all of a sudden it just breaks into fucking, oh look, it's Darkseid and all of his infinite fucking awesomeness.
Yep, she is spelunking in some caves. Remember, she's a curator, so she's spelunking in some caves, and she finds a mural of Darkseid.
Indiana Wonder Woman.
Indiana Wonder Woman. So you got to go with it. You just got to roll with it.
If you're gonna put hieroglyphs on there, you got to have the R2D2 and C3PO from Indiana Jones up on there, and you got to fucking represent and tie all the movies together. That's the only way I'm seeing this shit. Fuck you, Snyder.
Yeah, killing Dick Grayson. Fuck off. I mean, that really so much.
when I heard that, I was like, dude, that's it. You killed it. I'm done. No.
I don't even want to see
again.
it anymore. You fucked up.
Yep.
So what you're gonna make? What your plan was to make Dick Grayson Red Hood? I mean, like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, we'll
Can
never
you imagine the backlash to that just from us. nerds?
Please, Corbin, almighty defender of the Snyder Cut. Let's hear what you got.
This is why I'm here. So you gotta look at it this way, y'all.
I'm not looking at it anyway.
Snyder is a revolutionary in this build. He's trying to turn the DC universe on its head. You just gotta find your third eye. And
I wish I could mute Corban so bad right now.
and use that to figure it out. It's quite simple, really. Let me break it.
Are you listening to this, Travis? Are you listening to this bullshit that's coming?
All right, I'm back. Okay,
I feel like the guy who sold him that comic is going to ask him for more money after this. You might lose some of your star power after this.
Oh my goodness! I'm just trying to say, give the man a chance to put out his movie. I'm not a big fan of Dick Grayson dying, but maybe this could be the spice that we need.
Magic hand sanitizer. It'll get rid of COVID. I'll sell it to you.
You think I'm
it will get rid? It will get rid of Corban 19.
Yes,
Corban 19.
Get rid of Corban 20.
It'll cure you of Corban 19.
I'm gonna go cry now.
Michael Stout says, "I know I'm just a casual Batman fan, but fuck Scott Snyder if he kills Dick Grayson."
Fuck Scott
Well, you guys don't know how many casual Batman fans I have to deal with. It's fine. I mean, we'll
the way. I mean, it just if he kills
Got
Grayson, it just the rest of the universe, like in the whole DC universe, it fucks everything up. Like it there's a reason that they're written the way they're written. You can't. There's they killed the right Robin for a reason. They could. It just. I don't even know how or where or why he would even think that would work.
He's putting his own stamp on it. That Robin, that Joker killed Dick Grayson.
Do that.
Now he's a darker, more psychotic.
I think he's kind of showing his stupidity.
Batman who kills people.
He's showing his stupidity.
Stamp is what the fuck it is.
Yeah, he's putting his tramp stamp on
the stamp. It's fucking stupid.
Kill the best Robin before he's even can be introduced into anything. Fuck him off.
How can I fuck up another DC movie? I know. I'll kill Grayson.
Yes.
Brilliant.
How do we make the DC universe, movie cinematic universe, a little bit worse? Snyder, what do you think?
We're just gonna
kill Dick Grayson.
Real Batman fans know the best Robin was Carrie.
Great idea, Snyder. I'm so glad you thought of that. I know.
Awkward.
Did you just say real Batman fans know the best Robin was Carrie Kelly, and then you leave? You just made that statement and then you leave,
dude.
I'm gonna drop the mic and then I'm gonna run.
Do you even read comics?
Oh, more than you know, Kyle. And if you reread Dark Knight Returns like maybe 4 more times.
See, I think that's what you're stuck in this like genre, Corban. You gotta branch out, man. You gotta realize. Open your third eye, your comic eye, and realize.
My third eye is right. It's right there. It's right there.
No, it's sewed shut.
Open your eyes, y'all. Y'all live in the past. Dick Grayson is so Burt Ward in 1960.
I want to hear the. I'm open to hearing the Carrie argument. Like what is it? What's give me your pitch on this.
It's wrong, but go ahead.
Your pitch better be really fucking good at this point.
Hold on. What you should do right now.
But she certainly had less page time, so I want to know what is it they saw. I'm curious.
Corban, take a breath. Really put your thoughts together right now. Because this is going to make or break our friendship. So
Michael,
really think about the words that are about to come out of your mouth.
Michael Stoss says Corban is basically a hipster Batman fan.
I agree.
All right. Yeah, I will be relieved to hear that. I'm just fucking with y'all.
Pabst Blue Ribbon is the best beer. Why? Because I drank it one time.
No, because it's $1. It has some dirt on it.
All right, Corban. The stage is set.
Yeah, no, I was messing with y'all. I don't think Carrie Kelly is the signature.
You're a fucking liar.
I don't.
Now you're backpedaling.
Contentious.
No. Have I ever backpedaled? I've stood for Batman Forever as the best Batman movie. I've stood for Gotham by Gaslight as I have not backpedaled from any of my takes.
You're like the boy who cried. You're like the boy who cried Carrie Kelly.
No. See, look, from your previous arguments, though, you've always had at least somebody in your corner that'll try to help bail you out.
What's in my corner for Batman Forever?
Jay.
Where Jay is on Absolute Geek because I don't see him.
And we had that discussion. You had him in your corner.
Here, and I've been flamed in the comments before. No one believes me on the Batman Forever on this panel or in the comments.
I can get behind on Batman Forever. I can get behind Batman.
I got a fan now. I can still say that. I say that
don't hurt you.
Gotham by Gaslight, underrated Elseworlds book. You've heard this for years now.
Okay.
Now, Carrie Kelly, I've only mentioned once.
Wish I had the power to mute.
Listen, don't give Matt ideas. He'll agree 1,000%. The point I'm trying to say is that
I totally agree with you, Kyle.
1,000%.
Kyle's not even talking. I know, but shut up, Corbin. You know, there's a great show for you if you're not sober. It's called Couch Crunchers.
Yeah.
I won't say that Gaslight was the best ever, but it was a good, decent new idea. I did enjoy the Victorian style
story.
But
yeah.
it was, and it was never meant to be that big. Even the writer said it wasn't meant to be that big. It was a filler. And it really was cool to see that. And I mean, in the animated stuff, they did go back to the Victorian style a time or two with Etrigan and Batman and in the animated series. So it was kind of cool to see that Batman Victorian Jack the Ripper kind of play.
Who invited this guy on the show?
I love
you did.
Magnolia's art is amazing.
As far as being just this one-off incredible book, it's not. It's
not by a long shot.
Near all of the other
not
ones
by a
that were
shitty Robin.
so much better. So much better. I mean, you got Damian, you got Jason Todd, you got you got Grayson, and then you got fucking Grayson.
And Grayson. And
then there's Grayson.
Well, listen, okay. All right, so again, just for the record, it's Grayson for me, followed very, very closely by Tim Drake, and that debatable. I hate Damian Wayne. I will go to the grave hating him. But let me give a moment.
He's the best Robin, other than Tim Drake.
Nope.
Kyle's gonna explode.
The best Robin.
I hate
Drake's the best Robin.
I think Tim Drake is. I think the ingenuity that he brings, the freshness. I think our Robin is a perfect juxtaposition of the darkness of Batman. That's what I think is supposed to happen. So with Tim Drake, you had already had Batman just losing, Jason Todd going just down this deep, dark hole of despair while also trying to fight crime, which is a nasty place to be. I think Tim Drake kind of didn't lighten Batman up, but definitely almost relieved him of some pressure and helped him out, because now he's not just fighting for himself, just throwing himself into the mission. It's someone that he also cares for, that he's helping out.
Well,
now,
I think. Oh, go ahead. So please.
Oh no, I was going to say as it relates to Carrie Kelly.
Oh God, I was going to say, please cut him off.
Emblematic.
Travis, please just start.
I think he's emblematic of what Robin is in Robin's relationship to Batman, just as they are. Someone who's, slight help. Carrie Kelly didn't do anything hugely important except save Batman from the police once and another time from the police after his confrontation with the Joker. But someone who was able to soften Batman up, kind of keep him grounded, and not just the half suicidal mission that he does. And her youthfulness, the same Robin has, the same type of ingenuity and willingness to help and be a compliment to Batman, is what make them a perfect team. Carrie Kelly was the perfect Robin for that time. That's all I'm saying.
I think. I think it's a great argument on it, and I think there's an argument to be made on Carrie Kelly, and I think I think some people think of Carrie Kelly as a desperation move by Batman. It's like, I need something, I need to do, but it really is. I think maybe what Miller was going for on that one is that Robin doesn't need to be the Swiss Army knife to Batman, to help solve problems. It needs to be there for that emotional kind of support. I think that's also why it's a woman. I think that's why it's a woman in this one. No, I think so too.
Where you were going with that? Yeah.
This is before the third wave of feminism when this book came out. So in some ways it is progressive, and not just the fact that they changed the gender, but it also reflects the gender change reflects what is most essential about Robin to Batman, is that bringing him from the darkness, as what Corban was saying.
Mm-hmm. And bringing up the feminist point that you brought, up until that point, all the women in Batman's comics were either ones that he was in love with, enemies of his, or what? What's sister? What's her name?
And they all had woman or girl in their title. Batwoman, Batgirl. It's not Huntress, but
what's her name? The one who kind of helped him. I'm losing it now. The one who helped him after his parents died.
You've done lost it. Yes.
No, stop. I forgot her name. Doesn't matter.
Jennifer Lawrence. I think her name was Jennifer Lawrence.
No, no.
You lost it about the time you rolled in here and said Carrie Kelly's the best Robin.
Vicky Vale.
No, not Vicky Vale. It was she worked as a nun. She worked at a
nunnery.
Mother Teresa.
A church.
Stop! I'm trying to remember. The point being.
Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg.
Sister Abigail.
I remember that one. I remember when Bruce Wayne had to go into the church choir and shape them all up. Yeah, I remember that one.
No, you guys are a mess right now. Is what I'm saying. The point being, they've all been like either enemies, love interest, or mother figures, maternal figures for her. And Carrie Kelly was the first one who didn't fit that. She was independent. She was an actual partner. They didn't have equal footing because she was also like a mentee under Batman. But you had someone for the first time that was on the same plane. That was a woman. I'm not saying that means anything in the grand scheme.
On the same plane as Batman, her?
As a team. You have to say that as a team. Now, who was her name? Sister Leslie.
Batman was
Sister Leslie. That's who I was talking about. Yeah, Batman was old, but at the same time, I mean, she did help. She helped take down Joker. She helped serve as a distraction for Superman when Batman was getting ready to face him. I mean, it's just after the time that we saw Barbara Gordon do nothing more than
So you're saying she was less of a Robin and more of a decoy.
No, that's not what I'm.
That's what you're just saying. She was used.
I said she helped take down Joker. She was part of the plan. If you read the book, man, I don't know if you read
part of the plan.
I don't know if you read
on your card, man.
She took down the Toy Masters. Yeah.
If you read Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, Matt, you realize that the entire confrontation with Superman was only direct at the very end after a series of distractions.
Batman.
Batmobile. You had the electro outlet, and then it was
Anybody else realize that Corban only ever debates 2 Batman books, and that's The Dark Knight Returns and Gotham by Gaslight? I'm starting to think that Gotham by Gaslight was like baby's first comic. Like that was the first comic Corban was given as a child, was Gotham by Gaslight, and he just hung on to it.
Where he's going to start arguing Hush.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's reading right now.
It's an overrated book. I love the artwork.
Shut your mouth.
It was an overrated mystery. And it is what it is. It was just cramming 3 characters in. We don't need to debate these 2 books.
Dude,
we don't talk
Hush is one of those books, man, where we're like, you are turning each page and you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
holy
you are.
fuck.
For Jim Lee's artwork.
The
story was really
part of it. Yes, but artwork and story, you're glued to it.
Artwork A+. You give the story what? I give it a B, C+. It really wasn't that great.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Corbin.
It really wasn't that good. People have grabbed it and taken the life of its own, but if you really read it again, like unobjectively, aside, like
I've read it more than once, Corbin.
But it was a page turner. I mean, it does keep you, intrigued in it. It does keep you, like you want to get to the end of it.
Yeah,
I mean, each book I read, I want to get to the end of for sure.
You're just I don't know. I was glued to it. I was like, oh, it was page to page. It's one of the few story arcs of Batman where I'm just like, holy fuck.
I mean, to be fair, when I first read it, I read it right when it was coming out. I was 7, and I was like, okay, like Superman, whatever.
Jesus, you were 7 when that came out?
Yes, it was.
He's a youngin', man. He's a youngin'.
And then I came back a couple years, and I was like, it's okay. The artwork is fine. And then you saw the ridiculous animated movie they made off of it, and it was so bad they had to add different elements to try to throw off what was really a straightforward plot. I mean, but that's just my argument. I don't know. You know, that movie book that actually would be a great segue that I also don't like? Dark Knight's Metal.
This content idea is brought to you by comicexposure.com.
Did you
you guys need to have Corban on your show and read Gotham by Gaslight and just
we haven't done that. We would love to do that. Speaking of which, did you see the breaking news about the multiple car train crashes in downtown Phoenix just right now? It's nighttime. It's ablaze, man. Woo.
What?
You guys are there's a big car crash in Phoenix into the trains there.
Yeah.
Multiple rail cars on fire in downtown Phoenix.
Nice.
Oh, rail cars on fire, yeah.
Where? Are you for real?
It just popped up on the ABC 15 live feed.
Yeah, he's not joking. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. I like to keep track of Arizona from Japan. I'm kind of like the Oracle of Phoenix. I just like sit in my wheelchair.
Travis
Just looking up stuff.
Travis is over in Japan, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Wow, they all disappeared. The asteroid just
Yeah.
totally wiped out Phoenix, and look, I'm still alive. Okay, if you're all still watching, I'm Travis. I'm the host of the show now. Those dumb shits are all dead."
Go to comicexposure.com for more information. Matt and I talk every day on Matt's commute to work. I'm like in his ear. I'm like, all right, it looks like the 19 is backed up here. I'm sending you an alternate route.
Quick, take a left.
Yeah, Travis is my guy in the chair.
Yeah,
For my everyday life.
Wow, look at that.
Just like I'll see Matt in front of a vending machine. He's like, should I go for the Reese's Pieces? Should I go for the Snickers? And I'm like, I go, Matt, if you go for the Reese's Pieces, you can kind of divvy it out throughout the afternoon and extend your enjoyment. And he's like, good call.
Yep, he's got to talk me through my sugar woes.
your snack choices.
Yep.
Would you guys think I was an asshole if I went there and just started roasting marshmallows on that fire?
I think it would be hilarious.
S'mores? Anybody want s'mores?
Dude, you'd be a legend. You would be a legend.
Crackers.
You would be an internet legend, dude.
You
You just walk up there and start roasting
s'mores.
It fits very well because like I associate trains with like hobos and like the old school hobos. So if you come up there and you got that long beard and you got like a kind of like a like a nice little hat on there, and you could make
like a stick with like the bandana bag on the end of it.
You can make
your hobo sack bundle.
Open it up and start roasting marshmallows.
You could make an art installation out of it. Yeah.
The 7 news. Here you go. Yeah.
Offer one to one of the firefighters. Try to put it out.
Right. Hey man, back the fuck up. This is my fire.
Go there, roast marshmallows and read Hush.
Yeah, there you go.
Bust open my Hush and s'mores.
That's
Phoenix by Gas. Is it like a Phoenix by Gaslight kind of thing where everyone takes their copy of Batman by Gaslight and throws it into the pyre?
That's the perfect representation of Gotham by Gaslight right there. A train wreck. Oh, and Corbin's muted. I love that he's talking and he's on mute.
We love you, Corbin.
You are a mute, Corbin. No one can hear you, buddy.
There
you go. There you go.
Oh, I know. I wasn't muted on StreamYard on my actual mic. Anyway, it was like someone who hadn't read it just talked just now. I tell you, if you watch Spinner Rack, every time we mention old comics, Matt is quiet. I don't know if he's read anything before 1994.
Oh, please.
Like, he has all these, like, comments. Think about it. When's the last old book that Matt's mentioned that he's actually liked? Moreover, actually read? I don't know if he's read classic tales. And that would explain why we can never talk about classic books on the show. Because you don't read them. I get it, man. I understand.
Get it with the program.
But I mean, you like to clown these books that are older but are well-known and mostly well-liked. And that's the only thing I can come up with.
Okay, no, wait. Okay, Matt. What is one of your favorite classic books?
One of my favorite classic stories is probably, honestly, going to be Days of Futures Past.
That is a solid book. Corbin, you? What's yours?
My favorite?
Yeah, like just a good top, old classic book you like. What or a little mini series or what you got? Drop something that isn't Batman. That's the challenge.
That isn't.
Hold on, be back in 5 minutes, huh, Corbin?
You know what's funny, Kyle? I should say the same thing to you, man. We don't talk about old comics. I don't know if y'all even read old comics.
Yeah, come on. Hit me with your best shot there, Corbin. Hit me with a good classic, not Batman.
Craven's Last Hunt for me. It was one of the early ones I received. Books. It's a darker tale. It was actually ironically like one of my introductions to Spider-Man. Aside from the TV series, wow. And I remember going, gosh, I don't remember Spider-Man being this dark. But like looking back on it now and realizing that it was only 2 times in Spider-Man that I remember a storyline so dark that it almost raised the heaviness and the gravity of the story by how much of a chip it was off of Spider-Man stories. The Death of Gwen Stacy and Craven's Last Hunt, where it was like almost independent of like if you were reading through the series because of the tone of it. but that just made it. It was well written.
You know why we don't like to talk about old comics, Corbin? Because all of us on here, but you are old guys. I don't know about Travis, but he doesn't look a day over 22. But all of us on here are old guys, and we don't like to be reminded how old we are. Right? We don't want to talk about old comics.
Well, if you like to talk about old comics like Craven's Hunt, you can always go to comicexposure.com or on iTunes. We've read Craven's Last Hunt and many of these other things.
I mean, but you haven't got my gas price. I can't get my respect there. No, I'm kidding.
Travis, what's a good, maybe a mini series or just a good old book that it doesn't have to be silver or gold or whatever. Like any of us can afford those, but.
In the 80s, Marvel did a bunch of oversized magazine issues. I like the Mike Grell Green Arrow run in the late 80s. It was really dark from like 88 to like 92. I like Sienkiewicz and Miller. They did a couple of Sienkiewicz when he does anything, like any kind of series, is fantastic. It's like I even like him better than Alex Ross. Did a Daredevil run. I like Miller's Daredevil run. Classic stuff. I never read Days of Future Past though. I did Phoenix Saga and a couple of those other ones, but I never read Days of Future Past. Yeah, I know. I feel like that's a big hole.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
All right, Kyle, you're up. What's your read, buddy? Kick us with the knowledge.
Oh man, where would I start?
Give me 5 minutes. No,
Corbin rebuttals with the same joke Kyle just made 5 minutes ago.
Only difference is this is actually true.
Shut
up. No, I'm kidding.
Days of Future Past was an awesome story.
Okay, you're just like Matt Jr. right now.
No, I'm just saying it was amazing. Amazing Spider-Man 298 on. That was awesome to read. You were glued to those. You're glued to those pages too.
That's true.
And not just for the McFarlane art, but it's I'd have to say the Daredevil's right. I was just looking at that the other day again, thinking about reading it.
Sure.
God,
it's hard, isn't it?
Well, the problem with classic comics is that comic book writing changed. I mean, you got rid of all the exposition at the first 5 pages of every pre-1980s and even mid-1980s or 1980s comics were exposition, and it was weird because in comics you're already showing with the art. And so we always say show don't tell, but they're showing and then they're giving us the exposition. You're like, no. And really around the latter 90s when we started being a writer's medium again, like when it went from being the artist medium in the early 90s through mid 90s till the late 90s and early 2000s, people started really kind of putting their talent in writers, and the writers being trusting the artists more. And the way they worked together was more of simpatico. It wasn't like I'm writing the story and then you're going to assign it to an artist and that's going to be, in some cases, that's it. It really became a writer's medium. And I think that's when some really good stories started being told. We, on Comic Exposure, we've been going back. We're doing a Marvelous Summer. So reading some old Marvel books. And we just read the Kree Skrull War. It's important because it's, it's the beginning of what will become events books, but it's a slog, man. It's fun, but I don't think novices, I don't recommend those books to people. I wouldn't hand someone a comic book there are very few comic runs pre-2000 that I would hand someone who isn't into comics and say, oh, you want to know what comics is all about? Read this. There's a very few runs, maybe even I love Dark Knight Returns, but you have to have a little bit of comic pedigree to appreciate what Miller's doing there. You have to understand the time period. Are there any comic runs pre-2000s that you would feel comfortable handing to someone who hasn't read comics and using it to get them as a convert?
Okay, so here's my thing.
That would be a bad one.
Yeah,
which one?
Death in the Family.
Yeah, that was a great run.
Long Halloween, I think, is a great Batman story that doesn't seem too dated, and it brings in a lot of things.
Morrison's JLA. I mean, late.
Yeah.
90s. That was
late 90s. That's good.
I mean, the thing for me, I mean, aside from that, then we're talking about like, well, I like the Superior Spider-Man Dan Slott. It wasn't super great, but I enjoyed it. But here's my thing: like the medium is like literature, like it's constantly evolving. Like I get what you're saying in terms of like showing someone a book from 1960s, obviously gonna be different than 1987, obviously different than reading some of Tom King's garbage now. But the point being is like,
Tom King fan over here. I
mean, I love Tom King too.
Me too. It's great. Everything he does. Sheriff of Babylon, Vision.
You got those two. I love Vision. I don't hate Tom King. I hated Tom King's run on Batman After the Wedding. That was bullshit. That's all I got to say about that. It was trash.
Well, because you love weddings and you hate when they end. So I know it's real.
No, and I tell Matt every time I get a chance to take a shot at Tom King for the way he ended Batman, I will. So that's why. But his Vision, that was one of the best work. But even that, that's not a quintessential comic. Like I think you have to find the best of the times and use that to show. Like I look at the comic like, what could I hand to you that I could just give you and say, okay, read this, you'll enjoy it. And yes, this run ended. So the character of Batman continues long after Frank Miller's had his hands on it, long after, you gave it over to Doug Mensch and Kelly Jones. But the character's good, and writers who get that character, because there's certain just tenets and attributes of that character who just stay the same throughout 80 plus years and slight alterations here and there. I think that the writers who get it, those stories stand the test of time because they're emblematic of the character. I don't know if the comic books as an art, I mean, you have difference from big twos to indie to smaller publishing houses. Even those are different mediums,
I think for me, what I've been giving people, what I always have in buckets, I just give people trades and stuff like that. I'm a trade guy. And is I have buckets of Preacher that I give people. Why the Last Man, Fable. Vertigo for me is a great, if someone isn't into comics and they don't really know what comics are about, I'm hesitant to give them like a superhero run because I feel like that might just kind of inflate their preconceptions of it, even though I love superhero books.
Yeah, almost even scare them away just because they already have somewhat of a background basis from movies and crap like that, and they dive into that book and they're like, this is kind of like that movie, and then they're like, this book is nothing like any of that movie crap. Like this, fuck this, I'm out.
Well, like right here, we have Why the Last Man is now all in one omnibus that you can get for like $80 on Amazon. And like I've gotten this I just buy it. I click it. I'm like $80, send it to this person, and they get this thing. And it's a story. It's all one story, and it shows people what comics can do with a story, right? And I love superhero books, and for me that's it. But when I'm trying to convert someone, I look at something like a Preacher or Why the Last Man, or maybe even something more modern like a Tokyo Ghost, where they get to see how stories are told visually, and I find that I've gotten a lot more converts that way.
Like Tokyo Ghost?
No, that makes.
I did like Tokyo Ghost.
No, what you're saying makes a
I love
ton of
Sean
sense,
Murphy's
Travis.
art too, though.
It was really hard for me to get into. Like I was stoked when it came out because it was the concept of it's cool. Yeah, I was just like, and I've read the first few issues, and I was like, I think we actually did a comic review on it, Matt.
Yes, we did.
And I was like, I think my comic review is I just can't get into it. It was so hard to get into.
Yeah.
But I guess if you were a fan going in, I guess I could see you liking it.
Yeah, I love Sean Murphy's art. I love the Bushido culture that comes later. It's because it's only like I think it's a 12-issue run, and then they go to Japan and everything gets stripped down. It doesn't become like steam cyberpunk stuff as much, and it becomes more of like getting away from that. And that seems to be the premise of the book is like unplugging and getting back into this kind of Bushido culture. And I love Sean Murphy's art, although that like he's not the best writer. What we saw like on White Knight. And stuff like that. I like his artist stuff better. But yeah, I think when it comes to giving people comics, I've converted a lot of ex-girlfriends into comic book readers by giving them Sex Criminals, by giving them Why the Last Man, and Persepolis.
I think with Sex Criminals, you converted them because they thought you were some kind of kinky guy. They thought you had some kind of kink.
I did name my penis Chip Zdarsky. So that's my.
He's like, I have a toy room. He
Yeah.
opens the door, and there's just all these comic book boxes and crap in there. He's like,
Yeah,
you want to read some
literally
books?
a toy room. Yeah.
You want to come in my toy room and play? Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna get the kinky shit. Motherfucker, there's comic books in here. What are you talking about?
Interesting. Do any of you know what the rarest comic book is in the world according to CGC?
Action Comics 1?
No, it's not.
Why the Last Mat?
No, not Why the Last Man.
Oh, I like that. Why the Last Matt?
Kingdom
Spin-off
Come.
podcast starring
There you
Negan
go.
and
Yep,
Matt.
Why the Last Matt. There you go.
The
The
unicorn.
Kingdom
the
Come number 3.
rarest comic book according to CGC is
Well, can you give us a couple of hints first? I think we can get this. We can
Is it
pool
Golden Age
our
or
talent.
Silver Age?
Kingdom Come number 3. That's what it is.
it's not Kingdom Come number 3.
Corbin's typing. Corbin.
Is it Turok number 1?
Oh,
Definitely
no.
Turok number 1.
It is a DC book.
DC.
It
book.
was printed in 1938.
Is the character a member of the core Justice League?
No,
So it's got to be a Detective Comics?
it is not a Detective Comics.
Ooh, then it's got to be horror. It's got to be some of that early DC horror.
The image on the cover is a Native American warrior fighting an eagle.
Eagle!
Oh, Turok number 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Nailed it.
Wonder Woman. Indian
Let's
variant.
see who wrote it. Let's see.
There we go.
We can get all this. Wow.
And I think I have 6 more.
He
in the
turned
lockbox.
he turned the back side of the board into playing cards, and so he plays with poker with oversized Turoks.
Bob Kane. So here's a twist. Bob
That way,
Kane.
can I say this, guys? That might be a cool thing. If you get 52 cards in the deck, right? 52 issues of one book, and then turn the back whiteboard into playing cards, you can play poker with comics.
Oh, shit, let's do it.
The winner gets all the 52 books.
Dude, send,
Wow,
send me all your
in.
Turok number 1s.
Bob,
All right, Matt, go.
Bob Kane, Jerry Siegel, and Joe Shuster all had something to do with this book.
Is it a big book like that we'd know, or is it something?
Is it-
kind of-
Probably not.
Is it Geronimo?
Nope. It's Adventure Comics number 26.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't getting that.
Adventure Comics number 26 is considered the rarest comic
So
book
what's it fucking look like? Let's show us
in the
now.
world.
What makes it? How
There's
do they
4
know
of them.
this? What is so rare about it? Is there 1? Is there 2? Is there just like 2 that have been graded?
Ooh, I do like that cover though. I love that. You know that green on there reminds me of. I think that green would make a great color for a Miata. That font green. I feel like that would be a solid.
If I had a Miata, that is the fucking green I
Yeah.
would paint on that.
And
thing.
then I want
would be
that.
tight.
I want that eagle on that hood fighting that Indian. It's a little bit on PC these days, but I feel like in Japan I can get away with it.
I should put it on the hood of Lucille.
Yeah, there you go. And if it was that color green, I'd probably drop it on some gold spoke Lorenzos.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Dude, that'd be
some
sick.
gold rims. As long as you have the comic code in the corner of the hood, then you're good to go as far as the PC is concerned.
Stamp, rear quarter panel on the stamp.
It says New Adventure Comics number 26. This particular series from DC Comics is not necessarily widely collected, which is why very few copies exist. According to CGC database, there are only 9 registered copies of New Adventures Comic 26, making this the rarest comic book in the world.
Wow.
Do they have a value on it? Like
I have 2 of them.
what one would go for?
Kyle has 2 of them. There is no value on it. It's probably really fucking high, though. Let's see.
I have a friend like that.
Big time.
Yeah.
Really fucking high.
Is his name Brian?
He's doing the hot 10
All
right
right,
now.
here you go.
I have a lot of friends like that. Oddly, they all live in Colorado.
How crazy is that?
Coincidence? I think's not.
So it says estimated number of comics 9. Year created 1938. Its value based on highest price ever paid at auction, $11,000.
That's it.
But you got to think there's only 9 of them, so there's not a lot to go off of.
And it's not like a sought after character. Yeah.
The second rarest comic book, most expensive, is Detective Comics #1.
Yeah, but it's an action comic, so I mean, if you're going for a run,
it's adventure comics.
Oh, adventure comics. That's right, adventure comics.
My grandma gave me a comic book from 1952 today.
Whoa. How much?
How much did she give it to me for?
Yeah.
Nothing. My grandma.
Oh, I would have sold that one.
She don't charge her only grandson comic book.
I mean,
what book? Come on. All right, cookies. Break them out. Get them ready, folks. It's Wookie cookie time.
Let me go grab it real quick.
All right.
The number 6 most expensive book is Marvel Comics #1. Last price at auction was $226,000.
Marvel Comics #1.
Interesting.
What the hell's on that cover? That's you pull that cover up, please.
Here you go.
I like how Corban was like, "How much did your grandma sell it to you for?" And it was like 4 foot massages. It was a real dirty comic, so I talked her down from 15 foot massages to 4.
Oh my lord!
She wasn't 15, but I took it down. Her feet were dirty.
So
had some gouges in it. 4 foot massage.
Detective Comics 27, first Batman, went at is the number 7. The highest it ever went at auction, $2,100,000.
So, what was the last one priced?
The Marvel Comics one?
Yeah, because
$2,600.
So didn't you just say that one was, or no, not the most expensive?
No, the rarest comic is that
was 11,000.
Was that Adventure Comics? Yes, but now you're going by rarity. So number 2, the second most rarest book is Detective Comics #1.
Okay.
Then third is Adventure Comics 40. Then you have Wiz Comics 2. Then you got All American Comics 16, Marvel Comics #1, Detective at 27 at number 7, and then Action Comics #1 at 8.
You said Marvel #1 is the most expensive?
No. I said it's the second. Hold on. Marvel
Rarest.
#1 is the 6th rarest and the highest it sold at auction.
I see. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay. Now I'm with you. Now I'm picking up what you're laying down.
If you could trade
what you're stepping in.
If you could trade your entire comic collection for one complete run on like a title, would you do it? And if so, what title would it be?
Amazing Spider-Man. Hands down.
Same.
Yeah.
ASM.
Yeah.
Beginning to end.
Boy, that's tough.
It is tough.
You get the bulk. You can certainly get the bulk with that title.
That's brutal, man. Man, that's tough. I mean, ASM's in there, but God, do you do that over X-Men? I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah,
of
I was gonna
books.
say Uncanny
There's a
X-Men
lot of
is so
X-Men books.
but like it's true.
Hey, X-Men
And in the
#1 is
90s
a big book, but it's not an Amazing Fantasy 15 big book.
I wasn't thinking of this as a financial investment, Kyle. I was thinking about it as an emotional investment.
Hush.
What about Avengers? There's a lot of Avengers book.
Yeah, but when you say when you ask
Fantastic
people
Four.
what are the 3 big books from that you could have had in your lifetime? Action Comics, Detective 15, Action Comics, Detective 21, and Amazing Fantasy 15.
I read Detective 27
or 27. Sorry, but there you go.
I could have never had any of those.
Mm-mm.
But I could have had a first print TMNT #1 that I read 3 times and put back on the shelf 3 freaking times like an idiot
Fucking
child.
lame ass.
There you go.
Okay, so here it is.
Let's see
This
it.
is-
Big screen Kyle. Let's see the
February
Wookiees cookies. Here they come, baby.
February 1952, Volume 1, number 21.
Oh,
Smells good.
nice.
So
Let's see that spine. Let's see the spine on that baby.
Dude, that is freaking
Whoa.
clean.
Wow.
That looks pretty
Cool.
good.
Where's Brian after this hot 10? We got a new
Look at
edition.
1952.
Oh, I love that
Red Ryder
ad.
BB
Red
gun was
BB
$11.
gun.
You're gonna shoot your eye
For
out.
$11.
That's super.
Do they have
That's
a
a
compass
super
in the
expensive in
stock?
1952.
A 1952, a Red Ryder BB gun was the comic was 10 cents, but a Red Ryder BB gun was $11.
That's like $56 today.
Do they have a compass in the stock?
3
Yeah.
installments at $89.95.
It does have it where the NRA Brassard win medals.
Shit, that's when gun safety
Can you
was
go-
still
can-
taught in school.
Here's a
Kyle,
new way
can
to
you-
get to buy you a Daisy air rifle for Christmas.
Kyle, can you turn to another ad in the comic? Can you show me another one of the dated ads in there?
Dude, there's got to be like a Montgomery Ward or a Sears. Ooh, a He-Man.
Oh.
There we go. Look at that.
Look at that. You don't want to be
That
no
tiny-
scrawny little shit.
That tiny waist.
That'll
Right?
pump You up.
Here, let me see if there's another one. See what else we got in here.
Those are my favorite parts of those old books, of the ads more than the actual stories for a lot of them.
Yeah, they're awesome. Subscribe to Blondie, it says in here. Dude, you could get a
That's
bike,
a cool
dude.
book, man.
Send away for a bike.
Yeah, is that the Montgomery Ward ad?
Oh, whoops.
It's
Hit the wrong button.
Hold it up again,
How-
Kyle. The bike one.
a Shelby bike.
I like how there's a lot of dialogue to sell that
Oh,
Shelby
look
bike.
at
That's
that.
like a full page on that bike.
Oh, dude, look at that. That's a tank.
Dude, right?
Look at that tank's bike, full fender, fat tire. That's classic, man. Is that a Brooks saddle on that? That is. That's totally a Brooks saddle on there too. The old Springer Brooks saddle.
Get yourself a membership card and everything.
Get yourself
That's
some.
tight.
Get
Let's
yourself
see what
some.
else is in here.
That'd be a good like coffee table book collection. Is if someone found like the weirdest kind of cool eccentric ads from like 1940s and 50s comics and kind of combined them together in a coffee table book.
Price Smash.
Look at that.
Say,
You know, I have a book, and it had a big ring ad in the middle of it, and it was green. And I was like, "Who the fuck puts this shit in there?" And I just tore it out. I was like, "I
Send
don't
no
want this
money.
shit in my book." I think the guy's name was Mark something.
Mark Jeweler?
Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't need his ads in my books.
I'm glad that the
Rip
comics.
that
I'm
shit
glad
out.
comics never went to the magazine where like you open them up and like shit falls out of them. You know, you're
Yeah.
like,
Can you imagine if back in like 1960, what's your new ploy? How do we do this? I know. Let's put perfume ads in fucking
Yeah.
comic books.
you know, it would make it. It would make the
Maybe nerds
values-
wouldn't stink so bad.
Yeah,
Maybe Comic
yeah.
Cons wouldn't smell so bad. People would have got the hint from a young age.
It's
like
2020
now
and
they're
you're-
putting like CBD sniffers in there. Like
Yeah.
just chill out and read some Batman.
They could have sent to the Gwen Stacy books.
It would change comics so much because then they wouldn't be worth nothing unless they have the perfume ad in the middle of it.
It'd all be like Tinder ads falling out. Like, do you need a girl?
And I picked
Oh,
those
that's
right
an old
up.
Schwinn.
it's an old Schwinn.
Yeah, it's an old. Is that a Schwinn Tiger or the Corvette?
It's
Yeah, it's like, why does my book? It smells like high karate every time I open it. You know, like Kung Fu Master always had to smell like the high karate perfume ad inside the comic book.
Those were good
that's
days.
marketing.
I think as a kid, those were my highest valued items were my bike and my comic collection. Like a comic collection was like $40 total, and my bike was like $25. And you know, those worked.
Did it say what that bike was? Did it say it was a Corvette or a Jaguar or a?
a Schwinn. Black Phantom, super bike of them all, sparkling with chrome, equipped with terrific features. The Schwinn look, electro forged frame, dual roll bearings, tubular rims.
Those bikes are worth a.
Wait, what kind of rims are they? Hey, Kyle, what kind of rims are they? Oh, tubular. Excellent.
5 times stronger than any ordinary rims, yet lighter.
Are they totally tubular or just
tubular?
Tubular.
I personally prefer a cowabunga rim, but I'll take a tubular rim any day of the week.
Arnold Schwinn and Company.
I prefer a rim job, but only if you're a zombie.
Well done.
Oh man!
Wow, that's a solid ad, and I'll date myself again, but
let's hear it.
As I've done it like 10 times this show, that bike is actually a very collectible and high valued bike in good condition. There's not a lot of them out there.
What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about doing like podcast ads in comics? Can't we get an Absolute Geek podcast ad in like an independent comic? Like you say, like we're going to like kickstart you, a Kickstarter. Be like
guy on the payroll. Damn,
we will put our money together and we'll give you $1,000 for a Kickstarter comic that we really want. But you have to have at least 3 Absolute Geek ads in that book.
I think we need to be in Whiskers issue 2.
That's genius.
Or actually, we said Whiskers.
Or...
How about dog food? How about Absolute Geek dog food? Like you just
Absolute Geek dog food with real meat in the fridge next to your turkey.
There you
go. Wow, that is genius.
Kyle writes it himself.
Well, you could if you, because you guys are kind of now, especially because you guys are in the States and you guys go to comic shops and you meet some comic writers and artists, stuff like that, and it could be an investment.
If there's dirt on the book because of our status.
Yeah. I also think you guys should. Speaking of which, since you guys are going to comic shops, I think you guys need some like really high quality, paid for graphic, glossy posters that you can give these shop owners to put in their stores.
Oh, dude, there he is again. Look at this guy.
Frame them for them. Bring them a framed poster. 20 by 18 poster. That's not a right frame, right? And then be like, hey, we come here. Like, you mind putting this up? If not, then like toss it when I'm gone. But like most of them will put it up to cover wall space. You have Absolute Geek right there, and be like, if we next time I come in, if I see it, I'll give your comic. I'll give it a shout out on the podcast.
Dude,
love it.
You're in the wrong business, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean,
you're a genius. Look at you. Damn.
Teach us how to make money.
Yeah, right. Teach us how to make money. Old podcasting lore.
I got a lot of time on my hands here.
See, I've got a ton of ideas like that, and I just don't ever get them off the ground. Like I have this, if I wrote them all down in a book, that thing would be this thick of ideas for money making. And
first idea, go back and buy that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic. Page 1.
Absolutely. Number 1, go buy.
Create a time machine. Go back in time.
Yeah, go back.
Did you know the original inventor of the fleshlight was Solo Wookie? Back when he was in Boy Scouts, and his friend Reginald Flashlight saw Solo Wookie screw a flashlight, and so he's like, well, let me put a little rubber thing on there, and the flashlight was born.
Wasn't it the undead flashlight?
Yeah.
I was ahead of my time.
He was showing how he was gonna fuck zombies into submission, and with
this
flashlight.
My original idea was actually zombie flashlight, but somebody told me that's not gonna go over good.
Wait, so that means
know.
His dick is the size of 3 double D batteries, right?
Yep. He was the inspiration for Dirk Diggler and Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
That's Solo Wookie.
I stood in for that.
There you go. He was the stunt cock.
Yeah, you did. The Photoshop on that was excellent. People were like, "Dude, that was totally, that was Wahlberg," and I was like, "Yeah, that was Wahlberg."
Bring in the stunt cock.
Bring in the Wookiee.
Solo?
Yeah, bringing Solo for the Solo.
That's right.
Solo shot. But speaking of Comic Cons, we brought that up a couple of times. TwitchCon San Diego is canceled. Emerald City Comic Con has now officially been canceled after it was postponed. Are any of you guys planning to go to San Diego, virtual San Diego Comic Con live?
No.
Yes.
Corbin is because he wants to experience it.
That's a hard
Yes.
pass.
My job screwed me out of the first time. They won't screw me out of this one.
Yeah.
Can you go with other people? Can like Corbin and I be on like a shared feed and
I'm
like
sure you
go
could be
to
on
things
StreamYard together and go
'Cause I would go with Corbin.
Dude,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
If Corbin and I are like, all right, let's bust out of this room and go in this room and we kind of travel
Let's
together.
do it, man.
Yeah.
Not beat
just
the
hanging out with
hustle of being at a con.
Yeah.
It won't, but
The stink of other nerds that when you're going like Phoenix Comic Con, when you're going down those escalators to go to the vendor hall, that rumble of everybody talking.
Yeah. The
You're
sea
not
of
going to get
people.
that on virtual con 2020.
No.
You're not getting that.
Those are the best moments of the con. Is my favorite part of Phoenix Comic Con now Phoenix Fan Fusion or whatever it is, was sitting at that little grill bar outside of it and watching the parade. It was like watching a Halloween parade 24/7. And you go do your panel and things
buying
like that.
books, circling around, buying more books, mystery boxes. Oh, I missed it so much. Panel.
Can't wait to see it on my computer. Nope, just doesn't have the same ring to it.
Doesn't.
Yeah,
Like, I
Comic
remember-
Exposure Podcast is one of the first podcasts to do a panel at a comic convention 2013. But I'm just saying, like, it's okay.
Oh, will you be making?
What's this new site you speak of? I haven't heard of this before.
It's called xxxnx.com. And
Have you guys written a trade yet? So I can come on.
yeah, well, we got to do Invincible, right? Josh wants to read it. I've read it. I'm not a big fan of Invincible, so when Josh reads it, then we'll do it.
I figured you guys forgot.
No, we did Matt's Outcast, and we got to do your Invincible. We're doing our Marvelous Summer.
Shut up.
Oh yeah.
Shut up. Just shut up. Can't wait to have him on the cast again. Shut up. Shut up. But yeah, Comic-Con at home, virtual, no thanks. Do you think with them opening Disney in July, though, that you're going to see more comic... You see Phoenix Fan Fusion going, like, forget it, we're going. You see more comic shops saying, we're going to go.
2021, that's when they'll reevaluate.
You think so? You think all cons are going to be just done in the water, huh? You don't think anyone's going to go, well, Disney's reopening and they're doing it this way. Let's go.
I know there's a couple cons back east, but I bet you by the time September, October, I bet you they're canceled by then.
Well, do you think this whole Corbin-19 pandemic
Did
that's
you say
happening?
Corbin-19?
Yeah.
Don't put that name. No.
I can't make it out, guys. I caught the Corbin-19.
Got the Corbin-19.
That's a new T-shirt, boys. The Corbin-19.
Corbin.
I've tested positive for Corbin-19. And it says Corbin's head on it.
It's gonna age horribly. Okay. It already exists.
Do you think that this? Because I'm not in the States, so I don't get to feel the vibe of like day-to-day people there. Do you think that this whole pandemic has shown people that I can actually survive and enjoy like my more close-knit world where I'm kind of indoors and do this? Or do you think it's made them appreciate things like conventions, and so you're going to see even more people at conventions? Do you think that like being alone and sufficient for so long makes them realize that they're okay with that? Or do you think it makes them appreciate the communal aspect of events like Con more? What do you think?
I think the communal aspect, because, like once they did the release here, bars were packed.
No.
Everybody was out doing stuff. Everybody was drinking.
Was it more so than normal? Like more so than you would normally encounter on a Friday night?
It was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what happened when they opened freaking Lego. I mean, people were lined up for blocks.
We are we are still in the Minute Rice world where we need that.
Wait, Minute Rice?
Oh, you guys missed it.
We did. You opened the door. We just didn't
We
care.
Corbaned right through.
Here, we'll try it again.
I missed
Look
it.
at what happened when they opened Lego. People were lined up for blocks.
That was solid.
All right. Thank you.
I actually heard it, and I wasn't clever enough to get it.
Yeah, here all night, guys. Here all night. I agree.
Let our virtual studio audience give you a little bit of laughter there too.
I love those guys.
That costs money every push.
People are tired
Matt can afford all
of
the budget he got.
being stuck inside. They're like,
That's
hey,
why we had 3,000
Wow.
cases of corona reported today.
Right.
herd immunity.
Well, we're number one. We're leading in
We're
coronavirus cases right
We're
now.
number one.
Yeah.
We're number one. Suck it.
I wonder if it's like a horrible. It's a horrible analogy, but I wonder if it's kind of like the last. It seems like 5 or 6 years we've been these digital communities, and so you get that somewhat of a fulfillment by being online and talking to people and listening to podcasts and all that stuff. But I wonder if this has forced us kind of back into the analog days where now the cool thing is to be among people and to be unplugged. I wonder if that's going to take off for Kyle. It sounds like you said that you think that it's going to take place, like the new cool health thing to do. The new cool thing is to be among the people and to be unplugged.
I think people realize how much they enjoy being out. And I think, you can't go anywhere. Now you can go somewhere. So we went somewhere.
I just think it's sad that you want something you can't have. And you can't go to the bar. You can't go to the club. You can't go here. You can't go there.
You can't go out to restaurants. You can't go.
And then when they open it up, it's like a flock to it. Like,
Yay, we're back. Our freedom.
Maybe we needed that as like a reminder of like how important those things are.
I mean, for me, as a Comic-Con fan, I miss those as soon as they end. So it's only magnified by, and then like San Diego, I was already kind of not going anyway. My job already messed up, so I was already in a feeling of like, dang, I'm gonna miss out. Like FOMO. I'm really big on the social gathering. You guys know this, so that was already there, an element of it. I think this only magnified it and intensified it because then, my job relaxed. Obviously, then the COVID kicks in and then stuff gets canceled. It's like
Corban-19.
Corban-19 kicks in.
We're not making this a thing, gentlemen. No, but it's like, okay, well now
it's already a thing. There's no not making it. It's already there.
In fact, this is a big deal, Matt. I think we need a banner in the bottom warning people about Corban-19.
At least let me date a girl first, please. Thank you. Okay.
That's a great Tinder name, Corban-19.
Yeah, the Corban-19. It's not just a computer virus.
Why am I not in these thumbnails? The center of it.
Sorry, Travis. It's been a minute in the States. That might work for you out there. That's over here.
I think we're gonna see both. So a lot of the people that are hardcores that really like the cons and really like to get in there and see scattily dressed skimpy clothing on hot girls that are doing stuff and then rubbing butt to gut with all the big sweaty nerds. We're gonna see a lot more of it because people are tired of being cooped up. What I also think is that we're gonna see a lot of these corporate entities, like the leaders of AT&T and crap like that own DC and Disney and stuff. They're going to say, hey, now that we've got this whole setup for all of this streaming, let's go ahead and stream because now not only can we outsell this convention, but we can also sell tickets, put up a video camera, and now we don't just have every seat in the house packed, but we can fill 2-3 seats in every home while they watch and pay to go see the panels at the convention. They can go and see, the other stuff at the convention. So I think we're going to see a lot of both. Just like in the movie theaters, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of, 3-week or maybe even 3 month where they have it in the theater, they release it, a lot of new stuff comes out, and then immediately we're going to see a lot more streaming in the home because they're starting to figure out, hey, wait, if they're at home, we make twice as much money if we release it quicker. Now we're filling the movie theater seats and we're filling the seats at the home. Like the people who are
Preach, brother, preach.
the people that are big corporate entities are going to try and push for as much money as they can. And now that they've realized how they can do it and why they need to do it, they're going to get on the train. They're finally going to listen to all the people that have been telling them you could do this for years.
I don't think the virtual con thing is ever going to be a hit because it's like digital comic books. The real thing is better.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being there because, you know, like
or physical media over digital media.
I
there's
agree.
nothing like walking up to your favorite comic book writer, artist, and going, dude, ma'am, whatever, thank you. I appreciate you giving me this story. Like the way artists, I mean, some artists are just like, you could tell they're like, yeah, whatever. But, you know, like when you tell these certain artists, like when like Tinian, when I told Tinian, I was like, hey, man, you are one of my favorite writers. Like, I love what you write. You write it, I'm going to read it. And, like, the look on his face was like appreciation. And you're not going to get that.
Sure.
By
no, I get that.
Going, I love you, Tinian.
And I totally get that. That's why people like you and me and all of us here on the cast, that's why we're going to go. That's why we're there. But if you take someone, you know, like Jen, and she can pay $5 to go see, you know, the panel or them talking about the new Thor movie or the new Doctor Strange movie. She's like, I don't want to go to the con and hang out with a bunch of sweaty nerds and having to listen to this crap all day when I can just pay $3 or $5 and sit on this screen and watch this panel about the movie that I'm going to enjoy, that I really think I'm going to enjoy. So that's what I mean is I think we'll see both
sides, yeah.
And they're going to collect their money. I mean, if I own a business, I'm not going to take and be like, well, I only want half of this money. You know what I mean? Like, even though I can, you know, kind of sell that, I only want half of that money.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when the next, like, Phoenix Con Fan Fusion happens there. I mean, you were just talking about being at a
It's
local
when
comic
Corban-19
shop.
is over. We all get over Corban-19.
It'll be interesting to see the next big summer con. I mean, you were at a local shop and you had people be like, oh, hey, we watch you and we like what you do. It'll be interesting to see, to be like a contributor to the con as you guys do panels and as you guys do that stuff. My favorite thing is about con is long box surfing with my buddies. You know, it's just like sitting and looking through the below table long boxes. And we always do
next time.
Yeah, we always do the
next time, baby.
The bet was who can find the weirdest comic book for under $5, and that person is buying rounds that evening. You know, or you know, like that. You know,
I like
it's
that.
so like fun, like fun things. So it's like who could find the weirdest thing at con? Then you end up talking to people, and you guys seem more extroverted than I am. So at cons, I'm sure you guys are just like social butterflies bouncing around and talking to all the vendors. No.
Only if she's hot or a zombie.
I remember last year trying to talk. I could barely find Kyle. I remember Kyle was all over the place. I was telling Matt, we should go here. Matt, we should go there. No, I'm just going to stay over here, sit over here, stay over there. Hide over here.
That's the fun part of a con to me. It's like, okay, like last year at the con, me and Matt, I think and Lance for a while, we sat there and drank root beer and just bullshitted. And we just people watched. You know, and then like Lance and I from Couch Crunchers, we walked around and bullshitted about Supernatural and looked at shit about Supernatural at different tables. Sure. That's the cool thing about the con is getting with everybody. Like the way they've diluted and watered down cons that you're not getting these full immersion of awesome artists and writers and stuff. It's more fun it was more fun when we were sitting on the panel making up fake stories about these scenarios that we were given. Like that was more fun or like sitting at the Couch Crunchers and razzing them while they're trying to do a panel.
Right.
Like that is what's fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go dig for comics now because I know that these vendors have picked through everything 6 times before they put anything out on the vendor hall floor. And I know that book I really want that I can get is going to be 3 times the amount that it's worth.
Sure.
I think it's just the experience of hanging out with everybody. So
It is. I totally
every
agree.
time is, like last year, another great part of the con is when we were done at the con and we went to Nubia's work. And
you were
Corban
hitting
thought I
on
was
her?
hitting on the waitress instead of my wife. And he was just going to let it go. Like, that is what makes cons fun. It's
what made
like
last
that.
Saturday fun when we all went, diving and hanging out and doing. I mean, that's the fun part. But I also think there's a lot of stuff where people really want to go, but they can't afford the ticket to the con. They can't. Some people that are more introverted don't want to go to the con. Now, for us, I'm all for con. Let's do it. Let's hit it up if we got time and money and all that. But I'm saying they're going to find there's a new market for a lot of those people that are like, I really want to go to the San
Or like
Diego.
you're in Japan and I can't go to it because I'm not there, and you have to I would go check out a Absolute Geek panel online.
Cool if they could live
for
stream everything that's going on, where you could enter in these rooms of it'd be kind of cool if every panel going on had like a live feed, and you had the event book open with all the time. So whatever sounded interesting to you, for a $5 entrance fee into the live feed, you could go and look at the virtual lineup of times of everything that's going on. You could pick and choose what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I could see that better than having a total just virtual con.
Well, you open it up to an international audience when you allow at least like some of the panels to be broadcast for a small fee, and which if people are buying that will allow the organizers more money to play with, putting on a better con for the live people that are there live.
I see what you're saying. Like if fun to sell.
I mean, I think we think about like people in like Taiwan who can't go to the Phoenix Con, so and so is going to be there. I'm going to go into this, and then of course you obviously have ads for other things you can pay for at the con to go see. So all of a sudden, someone who is when we think about it as English speakers, we forget that there's this whole global audience of comic fans out there who just don't have that stuff accessible. In October here, we have the Tokyo Comic-Con, and Stan's been to that before and stuff like that. But it's different. It's just a little bit more sterile and stuff like that. So
how so?
They smell better?
It's
less sneaky nerds.
I won't speak for all of Asia, but
it's different culture, 'cause-
Japanese love standing in lines, and they do it politely and they do it efficiently. So it's not like you don't get to like.
I would kill for polite, not minding standing in lines. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Because-
weren't you the one who was telling me a couple weeks ago when someone asked you to
lines?
Yeah, American aggression in lines. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like people here are so aggressive about how. Like if somebody just thinks that you're cutting in front of them and they think that they're first, the attitude, the shit that you get. But if everybody's cordial and everybody has this, like if nobody minds and it's just this nice way to be in line, I'm sure the lines go quicker too. You know what I mean? There's nothing standing in line and then like you're like 3 people away and then 10 people and their friends coming right in front of you and you're like, you fucking cocksucker.
At cons here too, you have to pay to dress up too, a cosplay. Pay to cosplay.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how are the comic conventions over there? Because that's intriguing me. Because their culture is not very immersed in the American comic book, right? It's more manga and
it's a lot of manga. It's a lot of now the Tokyo Con. The one in October, it's very much media centered. So, they'll get a couple of big guests, they'll get like a Benedict Cumberbatch to come over or like a Stan Lee or something like that. They'll get like four big guests. and then
Not
those
anymore.
just get packed.
Say, if they're getting
anymore.
Stan Lee
Although-
now, I'll be there
Well,
for sure.
I don't know.
Well,
Japan is a lot less. Japan is a lot less contagious than America is right now. But the problem is Japan's not letting in Americans because
They're definitely
You guys
not
got-
letting in a dead Stan Lee to sign autographs.
no, the Dead Stan Lee is top billing next October. Yeah,
They're not letting in a guy with a COVID-19 shirt either.
Oh, weekend at
Yeah.
Stan's.
No one is letting me.
Weekend at Stan's. Or anyone who wants to fuck corpses is definitely not allowed in with a dead Stan Lee in the house.
I don't know, man. I hear the Japanese folks are crazy.
Why can't we use that? I'm just saying, we use COVID for Corbin. Let's sub out corpses for Corbin. If anybody want to,
Well, I will tell you this: if any of you
Nobody
guys
wants a
wanna fly-
weekend at Corbin's. All right.
If any of you guys want to fly out to Japan, I will put you up in the house. I will pick you up from the airport, and I will save you a lot of money on things, and we can go to Tokyo Con and we can experience together.
Done
That's my
deal.
invitation
I'm
to
there.
this panel.
I'm
Anytime,
there.
man. Yeah,
there.
plenty of room. Yeah.
that has to happen.
Flights right now are like $1,000. Let's go.
Let's put
No,
it
they're
on
like 600
Absolute
there's
Geek credit card.
$600 right now.
There you go. Trump bucks, boys. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
On.
Dude, it'd be badass.
Typically, a good price coming out here is about $1,200 to $1,500, but now they're like $600 round trip from Arizona right now.
Dude, I'm 6'2", man. I'd be able to see over everybody.
Yeah, right.
You would.
This is the problem.
Are you
I
really
have.
6'2", Kyle? I guess I never see Kyle stand up.
I'd
I'm
end up
6',
flying
yeah.
out there because Jen's middle son is in the Air Force and he's stationed over in Okinawa. So we'd go to stay with him, and he'd be the one that would end up flying back here, and he'd have leave that time, and he'd be back here in Arizona, and I'd be out there.
Yeah, exact course, right?
I'd love to go to Japan. I'd love.
I've wanted to go to Japan for a long time.
I want to go race Mario Karts around the city.
My nephew was out there for a while.
I want to do simple shit. Like, I want to ride the train with everybody. I want to fucking, like, just basic stuff, man.
Like,
I want to walk into a seedy part of town and run into some Yakuza.
No, I want a fucking Hanzo sword, man.
I want to practice kung fu with Shaolin monks. Like,
It sounds like if you guys came, I'd have to give you like the American Hollywood version of Japan.
Like, where do I get the Leonardo Hanzo swords, man? I want duels, baby. Come on.
Dude, I want a Hanzo sword forged for me. Why?
All right. Sounds like at 7 a.m. we're riding a crowded train for Kyle. Then we're buying Hanzo swords. Then we're going to a ninja cafe. Then we're going to a Buddhist monastery where they have to be dressed up in orange monk robes. That's not even
I could just sit there and practice Tai Chi with them. I'm cool. Because I know Tai Chi, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Sure you do.
I used to do it.
As long as I can drift through Tokyo as the crowd of people disperse as I'm coming through at the perfect time.
You guys have so many expectations in Japan.
Here's the picture in my head right now is Kyle in Japan doing Tai Chi in the middle of the street, and Winnie Cooper walks by and he's just fucking mush. It's all over. He's just like, I don't know the rest. It's Winnie freaking Cooper. Oh my god.
I go to karate because it was on the same night as Wonder Years, so I can watch Winnie Cooper. I quit karate for fucking Winnie Cooper. I did take kung fu for a long time.
For Winnie Cooper.
So, and Tai Chi was part of it. So
there you go.
Classic.
I'll go there with my belts and I'll fucking try to fight some masters and shit.
Any of you guys get any books this week?
Just the new releases that came out.
I got some in the mail. I went to
Got a mystery box.
pick up my TMNTs, and the Heckle and Jekyll were running the shop, and Brian wasn't in there, and I texted him and was like, hey, and he's like, no, they're there. Heckle and Jekyll don't know where they're at.
I got a 1 in 25 Kylo Ren 1.
A 1 in 25 Kylo Ren?
We got a first appearance of Null.
Yeah, grab your pickups. Let's see them.
Must have been a real low hot 10. Right.
I can show you the last like 2 weeks, but we'll be here for a while.
We're always here for a while, my friend. We're always here for a while.
I did get this today. This came in.
Nice. Invaders. Is
That
that Schaumburg? No.
No, That's kind of beat up. Oh, my second Spawn Mexico variants came in.
Nice.
I got
I got the
today.
black and white and the color.
You got yours, huh?
Yeah. Did you get yours yet?
I got one set. I got number 1 and number 2. One set. There should be like 5 others coming.
This guy's stocking up.
I got
that as well.
There you go.
Nice.
This is my 1 in 25.
Yeah, let me see that cover. Wow, where did you get that?
eBay.
Is that a number 1?
I'll be right back.
No, it's 4. I'm sorry. It's Kyler and 4. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. 25, yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
And I sold my Miles Morales.
That's what we heard.
So I'm pretty stoked about that. I sent it to the mail today. I had it up for a lot, and I made it a little bit more enticing. And this is my problem when I sell books. I'm sure Brian, Chad, and Matt, and Corban all know that, like, I'm not a very good salesman. I'm trying to get every cent I can for this book kind of guy. And so even with that Miles Morales Nas cover, I had it and I felt bad, like, that I had it up for so much. I'm not a good salesman. I'm not good at selling books. I give everybody too good of a deal when they buy books from me.
Yeah, you can't do that on eBay. That's the problem. It's hard to do that on eBay.
I mean, like, my friends get a pretty good deal, a really good deal, actually. Like, Chad,
how should he approach that, Brian? Like, what's the way to get over that sense of
you have to. Kyle guaranteed lost probably a couple $100 on that book. It doesn't matter to him. It doesn't really matter to him, but if that was his business, he would have lost some money on that book. It's hard to do. I do it all the time.
But I mean, he bought that book cover price. He spent what, $3.99 on it, and turned around and sold it for $500. So that's a pretty good profit.
So are you going to go buy an Incredible Hulk 181 for $3 and sell it for $100 and say you made a good deal?
Well, that's.
I mean, technically, it is a good deal.
Yeah,
that book is selling for almost what a raw Hulk 181 and low grade goes for.
Here's maybe a solution to it, like, because you want to be like kind of like be okay about good karma. Sell it for the price it needs to be, but when you package it, throw in like an Absolute Geek t-shirt, throw in some stickers, make it like an experience when it opens it, so you don't feel as bad. You're like, listen, you just bought the book, but I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff in this package, like some Lucy's,
dude, look at this
some
guy
Lucy
go.
singles that I don't want to deal with. Throw in some extra stuff. That way they're like, this guy sent me a bunch of extra cool, fun shit that made this fun to open. I'm going to buy from this guy again.
Travis, I mean, if you ever want to, do something other comic exposure, I think we can find a place for you, bud. I think we got some things for you.
That is the most I've ever sold a book on eBay for.
You should have took it over and had Corban cough inside of it, and then sealed it up and sent it off with some Corban-19.
I mean, it
and then like, here's your underpriced book, bitch. No charge for the Corban-19.
Yeah, you gotta watch that Corban-19. It can be extremely contagious and lead to having shit taste in comic books.
Yeah. Because every
time we mention Corban-19, I'm just gonna think I referring to my slong. I'm just
refer to your schlong?
Yep, that's Corban-19.
Your schlong is Corban-19.
There it is. I nailed it. Come get Corban-19. Come get it. Come get it. Anybody want to talk about it? I'm right here. Come get it.
Corban.
Catch it. I wrote it on your books. Catch it.
Corbin just said, "Hey, my schlong is like a baby arm."
Yeah.
Corbin 19. Let's go. You want it? I got it.
My schlong is contagious. Corbin
And it is
19.
contagious. Once you get it, you'll have it for a minute.
So I got.
Never go back.
I got to show you guys something here.
I got
let me
something.
see here.
When you're done, I got something because I got it a couple of weeks ago, and when I was bagging and boarding, I went through it and I
Actually, go ahead, Chad.
All right. So when I got it, it was sealed, right? And I just got it off of a bid on auction, right? So I picked it up because it's one I didn't have, right? Old school kind of volume 2.
Oh, I love that cover.
Right?
Yeah.
So as I'm bagging and boarding it comes sealed. I never open them when they're sealed. And I find on the back it has the card.
Nice.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, the Boba Fett and Dengar frickin' collector's card that came with the Star Wars Classics. And that card is extremely rare and hard to find.
There you go.
I was like, dude, wow. I totally got lucky.
It reminds me of this time we went to a comic shop with Chad, and he was looking in the case, and he goes, "You know why there's no sticker on that, boys? Because you can't afford it." Yeah,
it's a big boy.
And then he found out it was a reprint, and you can't afford it.
And you still couldn't afford it.
All right, so
It was awesome.
I got some pickups. I got the 2 Wraith books that everybody's talking about. I picked up a couple of these.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
okay.
Yeah, a couple, all right.
Has a full house.
Yeah.
So this right here is a big book that people don't know about yet. This is the first appearance of Mandalore the Indomitable, the original Mandalore. Number 6 is the first appearance of Mandalore the Ultimate, I believe. Does that sound right, Chad?
Yep.
And number 6 is a good one to get too, but this one's a really good one. And as you can see, I believe he's on the cover right there in the background.
I think we know where all of Corbin's next time baby money went to.
So that's Mandalore. Mandalore the Indomitable is on that. Then I picked up 2 of these. These are first appearance of Quinlan Voss, one of the major Star Wars Jedis that's going to get some major story work coming on him soon. There's no way that he doesn't make it big screen. But here's some funny stuff. So I'm going through boxes upstairs that a couple guys came over the weekend and rifled through, and I'm pretty sure they all went through these boxes that I was looking through because I'm definitely not picking any books up, picking any comic boxes off the ground. This is what I found after you guys went through some stuff. Pretty cool stuff that I didn't know. I knew I had, but I just didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this real quick.
You mean some polite guys that didn't want to just suck things from you?
This is a tough book that people might not know about. This is the first true appearance of Spider-Gwen. She's in the background along with Thor, the female Thor, first appearance of female Thor.
That book for $12.
Yep. So
that was Hot 10, 4 months ago?
Yeah.
I bought it when it came out, and I flipped it 2 weeks after I got it.
I found 2 of these, which are kind of cool. These are first appearance of the Thunderbolts.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Both direct editions. It's a pretty hot book, I think. Ultimate or first, what do they call this Hulk? Immortal Hulk?
Huh, I don't think I've ever seen that cover before.
This
Spider-Man
book is
$29.99 number 1?
No, not just Spider-Man number 29.99. Yeah, there's a little bit something different about that one.
Yeah, is that a newsstand? Is that a variant? What the hell is that?
It's the silver cover, isn't it? Because isn't the
It's
cover
the white
all red
cover.
or white?
Yeah.
And this cover only comes in Spider-Man 2099, the pre-Marvel Legends figures, Spider-Man Classics. Super hard book to find. Very, very tough to find in high grade.
Yeah.
This book is a monster.
Wow.
If you notice, we're all leaning in, like looking closer. Like, let me see that real
Except for
close.
Travis,
bro.
he's nodding off over there.
Where's
Agent-
that at? Huh.
The Agents number 6. This is has the Walking Dead preview in the back. First appearance of Walking Dead.
Whoa. I mean, that book's true.
There you go, Chad. Chad will like that one. Star Wars Tales number 23. First appearance of Darth Malak and Darth Revan.
Wedge, okay.
Star Wars don't have tails. You got big fat Buzz that put in little
And I
tiny
think
shorts
it
and
was-
walk around going, "Hi, Paul."
I think it was Chad or Kyle that found the first print, but there's the second print. So that's a pretty cool book.
We were looking for the second print.
We were. What's
Boom,
that book?
shakalaka, boom.
Yeah.
Boom,
There you go.
shakalaka, boom.
What book is that?
I'll give you $20 for it right now.
That is.
I'll give you 22.
I'll give you 25.
I'll give you Corban 19.
I'll get that to you.
So there was 3 of these.
Slinging?
Let me get some Corban.
Yeah, but
Give me some.
you realize, we all realize the minute we pull it out and show it to you, you're like, that's not for sale.
It's
That's
my
not for sale.
We're like, stop showing him all the good books. Show him 2 good books.
We had a plan
and
when
then-
we came over there where we were just going to ignore it because we knew you would just be like, that's not for sale.
That's my PC.
I sold a ton of books that I didn't think I was going to sell to you guys.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's,
Hey.
that's PC.
But we have a new game now. We're going to be like, hey, check out. Here's one that was on the Hot 10. Here's one that was on the Hot 10. Hey Corbin, this book's got a little dirt on it. Tell him it's got some dirt on it.
We're just gonna have Corbin haggle everything with you. He's gonna settle everything up.
Hey,
Wow.
Hey Corbin, here's my stack. Tell him that there's a little dirt on those.
Those are kind of dirty. Can we get maybe 35?
I'm gonna be like,
And that's why we love Corbin.
I'm gonna be like,
Brian's like, I don't know, 25.
Brian, how much for this book? $30. Corbin, hook it up. And he's gonna just wait for Abby to walk by and he's gonna pull a hair and be like, there's dog hair on this. Can I get it for like 15?
Oh my Lord.
There's a little resin on this. Can I get it for maybe 10?
I think that's what he does for his Long Island iced teas too. He carries dog hair. He's like, "There's a dog hair in my Long Island iced tea. What is this? A Jersey Shore iced tea? Give me a fucking free drink, please."
I need more iced tea in here.
If I don't have brisk, if you ain't got brisk, I don't want it.
Excuse me, sir. There's no tea.
That's brisk,
in this.
baby.
Yeah, you want to run down the Hot 10, Brian?
Those are good books, Brian. Travis, did you
Gentlemen.
have anything? Did you pick up some stuff?
No, I haven't bought single issues in a while just because it's
He picked
so
up
hard
Corbin
to pick 'em
19.
up here.
Did
Yeah,
you
pick
pick
him
up
up, yeah.
anything else though? Did you pick up a statue, a chair?
Dude, we should do that.
picture?
That should be our next merchandise.
I bought.
That should definitely be our next merchandise thing. Is a mask that just says Corbin 19 on it.
Oh my
Oh, I
God.
like that. Oh my god, that's great.
With the
Is
absolute
this like
geek
Corbin
symbol
going like this?
behind it, and just Corbin
There
19.
you go.
I just imagine a bunch of people with my in there. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
So what'd you get, Travis? You got a pot?
Be your
No,
beautiful
the
shining face.
Thing that I bought was I've been collecting this one I haven't even gotten the plastic out of it yet. But is the preacher omnibus? They come in 3 collections. So when you open them up, here's the second edition. There's these beautiful art edition, like oversized, beautiful
that's
bound
cool.
books of my favorite comic series. And
Yeah, that's
So-
sick.
yeah, it came out a couple of years ago, and they're like about $100 a pop, maybe 80 now. But so I've just been doing like one a year, and I finally got the third one in. So now I'm good with Preacher. I don't think I need any other versions of it. I think I have just about every copy and version of it. But that came in the mail the other day, so I cut it up and put it in my Miata and drove it home.
You know how we're gonna
wouldn't fit in the trunk, so I cut it up, and I just had to drive with one hand out the window holding the comic up, and so that might affect the jam. It might be a little dirty, so Corban could probably pick it up for about half price online.
Oh my god!
Hey, so the CDC just came out with new guidelines on how to deal with, celebrate, and handle COVID-19.
I've actually learned how to saber off fucking bottles of champagne, so I plan on bringing out the saber.
You gotta saber off some bottles of champagne.
No, I actually heard if you wash your hands and you sing the Green Lantern core, in Black Oath, then and you wash your hands with champagne, you will cure COVID-19. So that seems to be what is working best. Yeah.
Man.
All right. Number 10 this week is Venom number 3.
No honorable mention?
Oh, yes. Honorable mention.
Yeah, what the fuck? We want our fucking... There it is.
Golden Age this week. Spook detective cases. Now, this is a very controversial book. There's a reason that it's on the Hot 10 this week. It's to call attention to some of the craziness. I think that's what we do with Golden Age. We call attention to some of the crazy covers. We also call attention to the prices that are being paid. But
the headless whore.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the greatest of titles, especially in the time that we're going through now. I'm very surprised they got away with all that stuff. There's a man hanging in the background, which makes it even worse. This is the craziness. This is the time we live in. But remember that this may not be a iconic cover, but it's very significant, right? To talk about, it's very significant. So remember that covers are significant. This a copy recently sold for $6K, around $6K. 3.0 sold for $1,000. Just Golden Age books just going crazy.
What year? What year is this book?
This is an old one. This is LB Cole. This is Golden. So this is 50s and 40s. Yeah. This is a tough book. It's especially in the times we're going on right now. It's just crazy. What's that?
Yes, that's right. 1952.
But yeah, so just remember, significant covers, definitely not iconic, but significant. Aspen, this is the Michael Turner Aspen Splash 2013 San Diego Comic-Con variant, limited to 250. Super hard to find. Beautiful Turner cover. A couple months ago, these sold for around $100, but this week they're selling for about $225.
So what's sparked?
Is that Turner? It looks like Campbell. Is that Turner?
Turner? Yeah, this is Turner. I don't know what sparked this one. It's very interesting, but that's what honorable mentions for just kind of like weird things that we're seeing.
I have old like Witchblade cover from like the mid '90s, like Waterfalls and Babes and. God, I miss those times. Hey guys, you missed the. Hey, whatever happened to the mid '90s comics? I feel like Goat Boy from SNL. Whatever happened to the mid '90s?
I have 2 ideas what might have spiked this book.
Yeah, definitely not the fishnets. All right, on to number 10. Again, the Venom number 3.
I wanted to hear his ideas, Brian.
The Venom number 3, 9.8 hit an all-time high of $250, which is crazy. Up from around $160 last week. Raws are about $100 as well. A lot of time. This is the quote-unquote, first appearance of Null that everybody was talking about months ago. It's going to be very interesting to see if that Wraith book has any change on the first appearance of Null. But I think what's causing this one to go up is that it also has Miles in it. So that's another big reason. Number 9, Descender number 1, cover price.
That book.
Yeah, this book was selling at cover price for a long time. If you remember correctly, this book was hot when it first came out. There was a lot of talk about this book. Yeah, Jeff Lemire is a great writer, and that's a beautiful cover.
Amazing,
This
yeah.
was a great,
Had almost that whole run.
Yeah, this is a great series, and it was recently picked up by a Canadian production company, which is kind of, I mean, it's great for them, but will we see it? Who knows? But yeah, this is selling at $20 raw now, $20 plus. So.
Did you like that run, Kyle? I wasn't a big. It wasn't my favorite Lemire stuff. It was bottom Lemire for me.
I liked it for a while, and then it just kind of like flatlined for me. I just kind of lost interest. Like the first 5 or 6 issues, I was really into it. Like the concept was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, and it just kind of went by the wayside. But it was in my pull list, so it's something it's another habit I have to break. Even if it's on my pull list, I just keep buying it.
Right, yeah. It felt like a little bit like AI, like the Spielberg thing.
Yep. All right, number 8. Beautiful. Okay, here we go.
I've seen that
book.
Yep.
Now, remember that Golden Age book. That Golden Age book was very volatile, racist, right? I mean, that was a very racist book, and that's kind of one of the things that we want to talk about. Is we live in crazy times, but the times we live in are getting better. And when we can see books like this and relationships like this that are front and center, especially with big characters, i.e. Spider-Man characters, this is saying something. And people are taking note of this book, especially right now.
Is that the first interracial display of love on a comic cover?
I doubt it.
I doubt it, yeah.
I doubt it, but this is a beautiful Dave Johnson cover. And you guys, I really don't think that they cannot have this relationship show up in the movies. This is, when we talk about kids nowadays, especially kids that are into comics, Marvel has hit the bullseye with Miles, and they can hit another bullseye with Gwen by teaming them together, whether as love interests or team ups or friends, and have not only young male fans of Miles, but you'll have young female fans of Gwen. You'll bring more young girls into this hobby, and I think that this is a very important cover and a very important relationship moving forward.
They already kind of started laying that groundwork into the Spider-Verse. So.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting. This was a $10 book. It's up to $30. It's been sold. It got as high as up as 50.
Sold.
Yeah. I mean, if you can find this book,
I'm digging it out and selling it tonight.
Yep, me too.
I'd actually like to put that. I think I might buy that for my classroom, my 6th grade class. I teach 6th graders now, and I think that would be cool to frame and put in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very good book. I mean, if you can, there is a variant to this by Pacelli, I believe, and it's an all black cover, and it's Miles and Gwen, and they're walking and they're holding hands. And that's a beautiful cover too. Really tough to find. I could see that book just getting ridiculous. Mel, who made it for the Hot 10 tonight, was ecstatic about that variant alone. He really thinks that the variant where they're walking hand in hand has a lot of room to grow. And I'm happy that we're seeing covers like this that are breaking some of the boundaries maybe that were not there when we see covers like that honorable mention. So,
well, here's what Corban 19 and I are going to do for the virtual San Diego Con. We're going to go together virtually as it, but I'm going to be Miles and he's going to be Spider-Gwen. So we're going to add so many layers to it as we hop in and out of these virtual rooms. It's going to be amazing.
You guys are crazy. You're crazy, man.
Stars and Stripe number 7. This is Stars and Stripe number 0 is issue number or on the list at number 7. First appearance of this Stargirl, I guess, and this book is going crazy because of the Stargirl stuff. Raw copies are $80 plus.
You have that
right again, $80 plus. 9.8s are $450. Wow.
Jeez.
Just keep an eye out for this. You can find it in dollar bins. I used to find this book in dollar bins all the time. This is Jeff Johns' Goodness. Also, JSA All-Stars number 4 and JSA 81. Be on the lookout for. Okay. Number 6. This is an oldie but a goodie. I
love that Daredevil. Sorry, I love that Daredevil. I love this Daredevil cover. I actually love it.
Beautiful David Mack cover. This is a book, one of the first books that I ever remember specking on back in maybe early 2000s, like when New Avengers first came out and they were doing the whole Ronin run. I remember when we found out it was Echo, man, I immediately headed to the comic book store. This is way before I got back into, specking really big or anything. Yeah. And just this was a big book back then. But here's where
I'm a sucker for anything that's watercoloring. Like it just for me, I don't know, maybe it's like a gimmick, but for me it works. I'm just like, I love it. I love anything that's got that watercolor splash on it.
The interesting thing about this is a David Mack cover, of course. Beautiful David Mack artwork. This, we all know David Mack likes the watercolor, but David Mack wrote this issue, and Quesada and Palmiotti did the art inside. So David Mack, this Daredevil run was started with Kevin Smith, and then after Kevin Smith, it went to David Mack. Wrote a bunch of issues, which was crazy to see David Mack writing and not drawing. And then it went to Brian Michael Bendis, which he had one of the most amazing Daredevil.
Historical. It's like keys.
And then it went to who's the guy that was after him, the dude with the glasses, young cat that did
Rob Liefeld.
No.
J.J. Abrams.
The Page Master from Disney's The Page Master.
Anyways, good stuff. So this is a $25 plus book right now. Crazy. It's been reported that Marvel is looking to add Echo to a Disney Plus show. It's been reported by several sites that a casting call for someone who fits Echo exact description has been made, and we're gonna see some Echo stuff.
Hey, Solo Wookiee coming at you.
Yeah, a lot of the speculation is it's gonna be Daredevil. You're gonna get, or not Daredevil, Hawkeye. Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run for Disney Plus, because they the casting call specifically asks for someone who can do their lines and screen test in sign language. So they're thinking that they're gonna do the deaf Hawkeye stuff.
Well, Echo's deaf, so
yeah, but they're thinking that they're gonna take Clint Barton's hearing, and that's why Kate Bishop comes into the picture, and she's gonna teach him sign language and kind of be his mentor, since they're both deaf now.
Guys, guess who took 4 semesters of sign language at ASU? I'm gonna give you some sign language.
Corbin 19.
There you go. You're in it, Draft.
I'm in it.
Cover
90.
That's the poly bag.
5. This is the poly bag for Ultimate Comics All New Spider-Man. This is one Matt was actually talking about last week. Maybe we should keep an eye on. We should have bought it. $25 to $80 raw now. Miles Mania continues.
Miles.
Yeah.
Miles.
Yeah, and definitely try to find the variants for it. Good luck finding the black and white Pacelli variant. That is one of the most rare variants you'll ever try to search for. There's only one I've ever seen for sale. It's on eBay right now for $30,000.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Pacelli. Does that guy smell like a group of hippies?
Dude,
I have that book too.
This cover right here.
Okay, so this is another thing. Again, I'm going to point back to that early Golden Age book that we talked about. Here's another book. This book is significant, iconic. This book, Mel V made a point that he said, this is a cover that needs to be seen. Now, people are up in arms about this book being hot right now because there's nothing inside that has anything to do with the cover. But again, that doesn't matter, guys. Covers cause people to buy comics. There's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of books out there that have covers that have nothing to do with what's going on inside that are significant. This book is very significant, especially right now. Beautiful cover. This book needs to be seen. It needs to be talked about. And it's, if you get a chance, find it and keep it. This was cover price a couple days ago. It's $50 plus. It's skyrocketing.
Whoa.
Yeah, there is an Ultimate Comic Spider-Man number 11 that's similar to this, where it's Miles and he's holding up his arms and they're got the handcuffs on him.
Yep, I have that one too.
But this is
What?
this is
Huh?
What'd you say, Corbin?
Congratulating you, man.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
This is a tough time, but a very iconic or significant book to be on the list. And it's
we
a
haven't seen
beautiful
the end of this book. This book's going to take off.
Yeah, I saw
This
them up on
one's-
eBay the other day. and I
This
was
one's going to go huge.
Yeah.
On
to number 3, Final Crisis.
Oh, beautiful cover. Look at that.
Yeah.
I love that Superman.
Yeah, this is the J.G. Jones variant, Final Crisis number 7. Okay, so this is where we get interesting. So we've talked about the Miles books and how important they are, especially when we talk about the time we live in with racial injustice and all, and police injustice and all that stuff. Here's the other end of that spectrum. Now, this book got super hot because a website that has horrible information decided to bring up the rumor that DC is looking to cast Michael B. Jordan as Superman again. Now, this was out a couple months ago. It's been talked. There's been rumors forever. I just don't see this happening. And if DC decides to go through with this, I'm going to be. I don't know if I just don't think this is the way to go. DC, Superman is an iconic character, and it has nothing to do with skin color or anything. You don't change Superman. You create a new character that's going to give people the same feeling, but with a new character. Make a new character important, because when you take an old character, when you take a Superman character or something like that, and you change him, the problem is that 90% of the time you change it back. So let's create a new character. Let's create a new black superhero.
I've been saying that for years with characters.
Yeah.
Create a new character so it has its own identity.
And here's you play devil's advocate.
Hold on. Maybe I could play.
Hold on. Let me make this point. You can play devil's advocate and say that, well, that's what they did with Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
Yep.
But here's the difference. That was organic. Miles Morales' growth was organic, and this feels forced. Don't force it, you guys, and don't force Miles' growth continuing. Let it continue to grow organically. That's very important. Go ahead, Travis.
No, I think that's a good point, and I'm kind of torn on this too. But when I think about these iconic characters in literature, I think about like Hamlet, or Shakespearean characters that are very. You can pop in whatever you want, for centuries. Hamlet was, typically played by a white guy, but then it gets changed around. So I think in a stage version of Superman, I don't understand. Yeah, I think you can flip it without drawing too much attention to it, as long as it's not like that there is a lot of attention to it. Attention brought, but I guess that comes with it. It's
you're always.
I guess that's true too. It's gonna be a story.
It's always gonna feel forced.
The problem is it can't just be art because of our the way things are and the way things have been but things have always been the way they've been. Now they're just being politicized more. So all the injustices that we're noticing today have always been. We're just politicizing them more. So if you change the color of Superman now, it's going to be very politicized, and it's going to bring a lot of attention to it, for good or bad. So it is
for the wrong reason.
That's a tough move. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm mad.
There you go.
Begging.
No, but I want to show. So
I got all of it.
I think people need to watch out. There's 2 other Miles covers with Spider-Gwen that you can watch out for too.
I have them all. I want to show off my books again because
I'm mad.
I got so much money.
I'm trying to show people stuff to kind of look out for, because if the Miles Gwen relationship is going to go off.
Save that for Brian, okay?
You got both those.
Brian has the hot 10. Let him show what's coming. You keep your collection yourself.
We got both those.
Hey, how about you just quit being jealous, Corbin?
Right?
Just stop being jealous, Corbin, right?
What's going to send me to Couch Crunchers?
No, I don't need to send you to Couch Crunchers. You can
How about this one, Matt? You got this one? You got number 2 also?
I do have that one also, yes.
Well, this one
I don't like that
selling
cover.
for $75.
I have the every single issue of the very first run of Miles.
Wow, this is so amazing.
This is the third printing.
I have everything.
I
bro. I'm
just smell
trying to
all
cut
the fucking
through.
haters. Just soak up the hate.
This is
Hey, Matt.
I wish
Matt,
was talking.
Didn't
like
you
swear-
get that in a mystery box? Didn't you?
I
like,
did.
order
I did get it in a
mystery
mystery
box, and you got the
box.
full-
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah.
This is the absolute
high
match show right
pitch
now.
Matt on this show, like he's on Spinner Rack. We need high pitch Matt.
Yeah.
I've got Ultimate Spider-Man. All right.
Hey, man. Suck it.
You got the third printing, Matt, you said?
I do.
Yeah,
This
hold
has
on
been
to
the
that.
absolute match show. Thank you for coming.
Number 1.
I have that book.
Yes, you do.
Uh-oh. Kyle's here.
I'm gonna go gloat. I have it.
That's fine. You can gloat.
Actually, me and Matt were talking about this book today, and this book sold today a 9.8. Sold today. What was I saying, Matt? It was like $900.
Yep.
900. There's $900, $998 for 9.8s, dude, that are sold within the last few days on eBay for this book.
Well, here's the crazy thing. So not only is this book selling for craziness, all Spider-Gwen stuff, the 4th and 5th prints of these are selling for like $50. The 3rd print is selling for like $200 and 9.8 or more.
You think they're selling because it's easy?
We didn't say the book for those who are just listening. We didn't say the title of the book.
It's Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, the first appearance of Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
Well, the first appearance of Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, Spider-Gwen. Good call. This, you guys have been seeing what's going on with Miles. Get ready for the same thing.
Get it out, Matt. Do it.
I can't get it out. Brian's got my copy. Sending it off to get graded.
Woo!
Can I do a mini survey here? I'm curious, how many people, who's as far as a Spider-Man love interest, is there like Team Gwen and Team Mary Jane? Is anyone here Team Mary Jane?
I'm Mary Jane, hands down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mary Jane.
Okay.
Who loves One More Day? Raise your hands. One More Day.
I don't know that run.
Terrible.
The one more, yeah, I refuse to acknowledge the One More Day run.
Do you think they're ever going to do like a Mary Jane, like a Spider-Gwen?
That's why I said it. I hate it.
Oh, was it? Is that what the run was? They try to make her like into her own thing?
No, they haven't done. I think the closest she's had has been on the cover in the Iron Spider armor. She hasn't. I don't think they. Well, she is kind of like a Spider-Man in the Renew Your Vows series. She dons a costume, but I don't know if they'll ever do anything like the Spider-Gwen. They should.
Part of me is like, I should sell this book because I could put it up for like $900 and I know I could sell it. But the problem with this is one of those books I think I would regret selling.
That's kind of where I'm at too.
Well, I don't think
Every time I'm like, I should sell it.
I'm not a huge it's not because I'm like a Gwen Stacy fan or I'm not a Spider-Woman fan. I'm not any of that. It's just like this book. Like I took it to San Diego Comic-Con. I got it signed. I sent it all the way to Virginia so that somebody can get it signed for Tim to get signed for me and sketched and brought, like, it's got like, I don't know, there's like attachment to it.
Well, I don't think we're done seeing any of these books peak yet either. I mean, as long as, Fallout 4's been on the top 10 for what, almost 2 months, 3 months straight. So, I mean, we're not at the end of seeing any of these peak out by any means.
So what made Edge of Spider-Verse 2 #1 this week?
Kyle, did you say you had this signed?
I have it signed by Latour and Robbie Rodriguez.
I'm looking at this like left bottom panel here with this whiteness. Is that where they signed it? Is that where?
Here, I'll go grab it real quick. I'll pull it.
It's a beautiful cover to sign because you have this nice white completely white corner here, which is great for signatures.
Well, and we still have Edge of the Spider-Verse that's coming out again, and that, I mean, wait until that animated feature drops. Watch these books after that, because they're already hot. And now, I mean, they already announced that. They already said, watch this. I mean, we already are seeing the beginning of this whole, Spider-Verse blowing up. We're just in the early stages of it. I mean, these could literally, these books here with the time and everything could literally take off. We could be looking at the next Hulk 181s of our time very easily.
Yeah.
So in the white, I got it sketched.
Oh, nice. Yeah, right there in that white part, yeah.
And then the tour is right here. It's hard to see it, but
Okay, I like it.
So then, bam.
I don't think we're anywhere near the end of this yet. I think
That's crazy. That's number one, though. That's a good number one.
Well, here's why it's number one. 9.8's doubled from about $500 to $900. As Kyle was saying, they're selling for about $1,000 almost in 9.8s. Doubled over the last week or so, or a couple weeks or so. So, fifth prints you can't get up for under $30 anymore. That says a lot. When you can't get a fifth print for under $30,
I don't know. Like I said, it'd be hard to sell, but I think if somebody just showed me 9 Benjamins,
You would reconsider?
I think I'd have to just go, here you go, kind person.
Hey, Brian, this might be a longer question for at this point in our long podcast here, but I would be interested in talking to you about, I mean, you got into this speculation business. I'm sure there are people who are curious whether they're going to be like hobbyists in speculating and stuff like that. I know you guys have talked about this on Absolute Geek in earlier episodes before I started listening, but there's got to be some kind of like entree into this world, like as far as how do you step into this world? Because I look at what you do and you're pulling up these things and you're obviously cross-referencing these books from different websites. Is it as intimidating as it looks, or can you plug into like 3 or 4 different areas
I can give you
make it happen?
I can give you the answer right here. The number one place to start your foray into comic speculation is CBSI and comicbookinvest.com.
That's what got me really into it. Brian said, you got to check this out.
My doctor said
I just looked this up. This cover right here for issue 1, the Cho cover, is a $100 book right now.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a great cover. Hold that up again, Matt.
The second biggest thing to do when you're in the speculation market is you go out and you buy 2 of everything. Because if you buy 2 of everything, you're never wrong. Sooner or later, it'll hit. There's your spec.
Well,
I got 2 of those. I got 2 of those. I got 2 of those.
Expensive hobby.
I'm not interested in speculating at all. I've never been in. I roll comics up in like my back pocket and like stick them in like bike spoke kind of style. Like I give comics to people. That's what I do. But I'm fascinated by it. I think it's crucial. I think if we're going to keep the comic industry alive, speculation is what's doing it. I think so. I feel bad not participating in it because it is the lifeblood, a lot of the lifeblood of the industry, and it's a fun. It seems like also just like a fun hobby to look at covers that, especially like looking at covers that are like really shitty and being like, or books that are really shitty and like, why is this popular? So I'm fascinated. Every time we do the top 10, I actually always love it. I'm always like, oh, that's crazy. That's ridiculous.
Here's my.
Good, I'm glad.
Here's what I've learned in the last just year of redoing comic books, coming back into it, getting deeper and deeper back into it, heavy, because I've always kind of collected a little, but in the last year of really getting into it, getting in and starting to listen to CBSI, every podcast, I don't care what it is, because they're all fun. They're all super fun.
Oh, they do a podcast?
Now, when I'm watching it,
You know, I'm going to have to go back and edit it, and every time you guys say CBSI, it's just going to say Absolute Geek Podcast.
Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek
First
Podcast.
thing you do is you tune into Absolute Geek. Second thing you do is you jump on CBSI.
It's absolutely you know?
What I
Corbin, you got to quit being a hater, bro. I'm sorry. If you step outside the genre of Batman, you might find some good stuff out there.
I don't quit anything. My ego isn't huge, you know. I'm just a humble guy who's not going to say, you know what? You said comic book. That reminds me, I have one right here. Let's show it up. Someone said book. Oh, guess what?
I have a love for Miles, and it's exciting when Brian
and collection at any chance.
No. Hold on. I'm a lover of Miles, and like Chad, and I bet you Chad and Kyle can attest that it's exciting when you own a book that shows up on the Hot 10.
It really if you can't show it off on Absolute Geek, then where can you show it off?
Exactly.
Honestly.
I mean, I see it in the messages all the time, so I'm sure Matt will find a way. But I get you.
So part of the and just like Matt was saying, it feels really good when you're like, damn, I spec'd that book, I got it, I enjoyed it. Look at that, I got 4 of the ones that were on the Hot 10 because I spec'd that a while ago. And there's two things Miles and Gwen are a great example of. And it's been said many a times here and at CBSI, and Kyle and Brian have both touched on it. So has Matt. The Miles and Gwen, part of the reason that we're able to see and save this market is only speculation's only a small part of it as far as like buying and continuing the LCSs and people's need and want to do it. The next thing is that we have to keep the market going for kids. Kids have to be involved and want to get comic books. It's a perfect example of that is Harley Davidson. They're crashing. Why? Because nobody at the younger ages wants to buy a Harley anymore. It's just not it's not their jam. They're not into it. They're not feeling it. Here we come out with this Gwen. We come out with this Miles. We come out with this, and all the kids today are like, that movie dropped, Spider-Verse, and kids were like, holy crap, I didn't know anything about it. And then they saw that cartoon. The cartoon was new. It had new artwork. It had all of that. And now kids are even starting to go, hey, what's this Miles? What's this Gwen? What's this Spider-Verse? So it's good story, good art, good content, and a new, younger generation.
Well, I've been teaching for like 14 years now, and I just moved to 6th grade. I was teaching high school for like 12 years, and I bought like my own money a classroom set of Batman Returns. So I would teach Dark Knight Returns with my students, my 11th graders. We would read Dark Knight Returns, and we would study it like literature, and that plotting was great. And we'd spend like a couple weeks looking at the plotting of it, and a lot of them, it's amazing, they don't know how to read panels. So you actually have to you take it for granted. You have to read panels. And these books, I bought them used. I bought like 30 of them used. And but I love speculation, but I also love just handing people their trade, so they're not worth anything. But I love the fact that just seeing used, beat up comics on kids' desk, and them being the 5th kid that I've seen have that book and open it up and look at Carrie Kelly and be like, that is the worst Robin.
Something about Carrie Kelly is just so key.
I also bought Persepolis as well, and teaching him how to look at visual art. And I think with the way that media is going and the way that everything is visuals with memes and GIFs and everything is visual and literary together. So combining visual and punctuating them with language and understanding the effect of that is really strong. So I love the fact that comic book industry has so many angles. It has this industry that Brian talks about so eloquently, where when you talk about speculation and it becomes this hobbyist industry, where I love the fact that I think that still keeps it in its roots, or not maybe its roots, but certainly in its past, that hobbyist industry. And then I
So
also
there's a-
love how you can curl it up, put it in your back pocket, or buy a bunch of them and toss them, or put them in a bucket and hand them to your ex-girlfriends and be like, give them the comics. You know, I love how comics, it can be done in so many different ways.
Sure. Well, and another aspect of the whole speculation, it sounds cliche, but it goes all the way back to the 80s. Now, the 80s had a big fight with the toy run because, well, I should say late 70s. The toy runs, because Kenner and Hasbro and all those guys fought over Star Wars. People didn't want it. Then they got it, and everybody wanted it. So then it started and sparked off this war of toys, and this is what has sparked and generated the comic book market through the late 80s, early 90s, and even today. And what it did is that they found out some very crucial information. If you don't have multiple content, you're not going to sell. And that changed the market for the rest of the time. So part of the reason that Star Wars sold so good is because the hit movie was just amazing. But they didn't stop at just the hit movies and the toys. They went into comic books. They went into magazines. They went into everything. You want a fucking toothbrush? I got 3 or 4 boxes of them sitting in the other room. I mean, they went out and did it. Then you turn around and you look at, okay, G.I. Joe came up and they started fighting over toys again. And they were like, well, how come these aren't selling as good? Well, we don't have the content yet. Boom, you got a G.I. Joe cartoon. Now the content's there. It's in the kids' faces. They're watching it twice a day. Boom, now you got a comic book. When you start tying multiple entities, the cartoons, the
Ninja Turtles is a perfect example of that.
Absolutely, Ninja Turtles. How they were, I just said it earlier. I was sitting there and I read 1 through 5 and held them in my hand as a dumb younger man and put them back on the shelf because I didn't have the money because, whatever. Next thing you know, and that was when turtles are real turtles. They aren't kid turtles. That was the turtles back then were not meant for kids. They were
like a Miller turtle.
Yeah. And that was the time in my life where I could relate because I was getting into Megadeth and Metallica and Anthrax, and on the walls spray painted in the turtle comic books. You got Anthrax sprayed, and I'm like, oh man, that is the shit. Like that ain't in any other comic book. And so then you just take that next step, and they sold it and came out with the cartoon, the toys, the everything. Once that whole line comes together, like, hey, we have toys, they're not selling. You know why? Because you don't have a comic book, you don't have a cartoon, you don't have a multitude of things to push the media for the sales. Now it changed. They figured it out, and they changed everything. That's why you saw WWE action figures, WWE comic books, WWE cartoons. Cindy fucking Lauper had them in her video. This is what sold that market, and that's what does it today. We're seeing the Spider-Verse movies. We're seeing Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales in the comic books. We're going to see more movies. We're not done yet. The action figure line, it has only started to build. That's what's going to help carry the market of comic books, is that back to that 80s root of tying it together. That's why we're seeing the Star Wars line take off again. This is the first week in 2 months that we haven't had a Star Wars book on the Hot 10. And it's because Mandalorian's coming out. It's because all the new toy line that they're getting ready to announce. There's a reason that DC went to Todd McFarlane and said, hey, we're screwed. We need a good toy manufacturer that's going to give us a hot product. Can you help us out? So he's banging that out, and now they're starting to get better content in their comic books. And if you watch, it's coming, and they're trying to push. They're trying to get it because that's the only way they're going to keep that market alive.
I think that my whole point was I'm just in awe of what like Brian does. I'm so jealous of that career of the hustling and the shucking purveyor of comics, because you really get to like curate these great books, either artistically or story wise or nostalgia wise. I mean, there's 3 different levels: story, art, nostalgia for these books. And I think this is what a great way to like spend your day, is like purveying that. I mean, it doesn't work that way for literature. I can't be like, hey, here are like 3 Faulkner short stories that you don't know that you should be fucking reading right now. Go buy those. It doesn't work that way. You know, but that's kind of what Brian's doing. He's like putting a spotlight on it. And I'm sure part of his job is like, I don't believe in all this art and all the stories I'm selling, but it's hot right now, so I'm purveying it. But I think it's what a great, if I could do that with like literature or any kind of thing, or like old punk albums or anything like that, to be able to curate and purvey what you love. I mean, that's a pretty cool job, man.
Absolutely, that's a great job. And speculation is. I mean, there's some great fun about it, and it's enjoyable, but it's not easy, man. I've had a really hard time lately with speculation and trying to do it, and realized while I was watching and learning from a lot of the other stuff that it's not my, you know, I may get lucky once or twice, only with the
you don't have a nose for
like
it.
Star Wars. I know Star Wars. You know, 4 weeks ago, I told all these guys, we were sitting at Brian's table, and I said, start buying Dathomir. If there's a Dathomir on the cover of a Star Wars book, buy it. Why? Because it's going to hit. It's going to hit. And 2 weeks later, there was a Dathomir cover, and it, you know, and it's coming. And I know some of it, and I know why it's coming, but it's only because I pay attention. It's a really hard job, and you're not going to get a house on MTV Cribs doing the speculation market. It ain't going to happen.
That's what I was going to say earlier. I was going to tell Travis the best way to spec is spec on stuff you like.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you as an affordable way to do speculation, you know what? Just like Venom, that Venom 3. Oh, there's a character coming out. I'm going to read that run because I like Donny Cates. Buy 3 of them. Because, and so what? So even if it doesn't hit, you just bought something that you like. So it's not like, okay, now I have this box of shit that I don't fucking care about. At least you have stuff that like you like. So it's stuff that you're going to read. It's stuff that you enjoyed. And you know what? And then you get the
you would have bought anyways. Yeah,
and then you get the added bonus down the run is, hey, now I have 3 of those. I can flip one of those.
Yeah.
Well, the other excitement
it is fun to do that. It is fun to collect.
Yeah,
those
when
things.
you're speccing what you like, you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're having fun.
Well, the other excitement in the spec too is like you get that character like Miles. You've been backing from the beginning. You're like, this character is hot. You'll tell anybody that listens how cool this character is. And then now finally it happens. It's been years, but you're collecting to read. But now you have those books if you want to flip them because you know you're a fan, and it's fun watching something that you stood behind this entire time finally see the light of day and people bringing recognition to it. It's awesome.
Like the only reason I have Edge of Spider-Verse 2 is because I subscribed to Spider-Man books, and when it rolled over to Edge of Spider-Verse, those books were just on my pull list. If it's, you know, so it just, when it rolled over to number 1, I got it. So they just kept putting it in my. It's the only reason I bought them is because it was Spider-Man, and I was, you know, and my comic book store knew that I liked Spider-Man.
That same with me, but I thought that the Spider-Gwen concept was an awesome concept. It was an awesome character, and I picked the book up because I was reading Spider-Man, and I never would have told you. If you would have told me this is going to explode, I would have been like, yeah, okay. You know, Gwen's been around for forever. Who would have thought that this character would have exploded the way she did?
This story is actually a really good story. Not just this issue, but this whole Edge. It was a really fun read.
Yeah, a great story. And that was a big part that brought the kids in, is that it's a good story. It's not a difficult read. It's it's new, it's exciting. And once that animated feature dropped, holy shit, man! As soon as I watched that cartoon, that animated movie, it was like, wow, this is it. This is the next one.
Yeah. For me, listening to you guys talk about like speculation and this stuff, it's one of my favorite parts of this podcast because one, it's an area I don't know a lot about, and two, it's kind of like playing a sport amateur. Like oh, I go pick up soccer games, and then you watch like the World Cup. Like you get to see like, oh, this is, oh yeah. You're just kind of like, oh yeah, I know those. The stories. I know all the athletes. I know all the records and stuff like that. But I wasn't in the game. I don't have the books. I don't have that. But it's really interesting and fascinating. I think one of the things that Absolute Geek does really well, and as opposed to a lot of geek culture podcasts, stays true. I think that is a backbone of the show, and I think you guys do that really well.
Thank you. Wow, look at that.
Comics are, they're an investment. A lot of people don't look at them like that, but they can be an investment. If you're buying CGC graded old school books, who knows what they're going to be worth in 30, 40 years from now. So
CGC fan.
Yeah, well, even not CGC, like just you collect, and you could be potentially investing in your future. It's like playing the stock market. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's a numbers game, and there is a NASDAQ for comic books. You just have to go to 4 different places to find that NASDAQ. You can't just pull up the NASDAQ and watch.
You have to connect the dots to it.
You have to connect the NASDAQ dots. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's time consuming and hard.
And it takes up a lot of your time and energy.
So that's why, back to my original statement, just go buy 3 of everything, and then you're always right.
I'm a story guy. I just want some good stories.
Like what you like.
Absolutely.
Keep other stuff in the background, so when you're dollar bin looking, and you have this encyclopedia of covers. Like that's the one thing Brian has taught me over all these years is learn covers. You don't need to learn every number to every hot book. Learn the covers. And so if you're flipping through quick, you go, there's that cover, there's that cover, there's that cover.
Well, and what's weird, I was saying I agree with Travis in that I'm very much still outside of my Batman love, guys, like very much a story person, understanding like the arcs and everything, having an appreciation for the runs and what it adds to the character.
Like when you drink milk.
No, although that
a Corban milk mustache, like the old 90s like high school cafeteria shirts, would be amazing.
That would be an awesome Absolute Geek shirt.
Yeah, I should.
Air Corban.
Yeah, there it is. No, milk to me is it hurts so bad, or it hurts so good. That's my relationship.
Air Corban 19. That's a great shirt.
There it is. But no, with comics, it's like I'm very much like I was actually a couple weeks ago was talking to Chad, and now I've been like addicted to the speculation podcast and everything, trying to understand it because I'm very much a reader guy, and I've been on CBSI more and trying to understand that because I've always been. I mean, you can't be in the comic game, I guess, and not be aware of it. But it was always like, oh, it's money. It's not something. I'm still in my 20s. I'm still kind of just reading the books for the love of the books. But that investment, kind of understanding the love that these people have to the craft, but also the business side of it, the investing side of it, understanding it more than just, oh, it's a really good story, but that this book will
real
go
estate. It becomes like real estate.
And market trends and things of that sort.
CBSI was just a small Google Hangouts group. It was the coolest thing because you just had this group of good dudes. There was no bashing. There was all these guys on Facebook who are bashing, and it's this crazy competition. When Brian first introduced me to CBSI, it was a very small group. It wasn't a big group of dudes. There probably wasn't 60 people in this group, 70 people in this group. I think when Brian introduced me to it, and just there was nothing better than going on and say, "Hey guys, what do you guys think about this?" And nobody was a dick about it. Everybody explained their point and was very courteous and was very gracious with information.
You have to be. If you're going to make it in this market, you got to look at Jesse James. I mean, picture perfect example. That guy will tell you, hey, you know what? I don't have it. But if you go down the street to this shop, they got it. I know they do. I'll call them right now. And that's what makes you. That's why I literally just got all those Star Wars books in the mail from Jesse James. There's a reason I bought 30 some odd books, Star Wars books from Jesse James. When you're absolutely right. You gotta be kind. It's like Roadhouse.
A lot of these Facebook groups, you go in and you ask a question, you get roasted.
Yeah, they're all
the questions that you ask. Like, and you go when you would go to the CBSI Google group, it was you asked this question, and it was just a bunch of cool dudes talking comics who didn't mind. They didn't mind talking comics. Hey, I'm new to this. What do you guys think about this? Oh, we talked about this. Here's this link to this thing that when we talked about it before. Go read this. This is what you want. Or, hey, this is what you want. Even if like there was rules to it. And if you went outside the rules, you weren't ostracized for it. They were like, hey, man, here's a reminder. Awesome link. We appreciate you contributing to us. But this is what we need to do. And you're just like, okay, you don't feel like a jackass for doing it. You're just like, right on. You do it in some of these Facebook groups, and you are the
bad guy. You're ostracized.
Yeah, and you just see 300 comments of people roasting and making fun of you. And that was the cool thing
trying to learn. Nobody should ever feel dumb trying to learn. You're never going to make it in the market, ever.
No, I'm here in a comic book group asking a question.
I just want to learn.
Don't ask a question just for the sake of making an argument. But if you truly want to know, hey, this is what I want to know. And, that's, like I said before, the cool thing about CBSI. Hey, here's a link to this discussion that we had 6 weeks ago. No. Read everybody's comments. All the information you need is right there. Perfect. You guys, that's a great question. Here you go.
Well, and that's the cool thing I like about CBSI and then the Hot 10 and Brian doing the Hot 10 on both shows is that he's giving both audiences that insider track if you're looking for that flip market, that speculation market, because when he tells you go to the stores, these books can be found in dollar bins. He's not kidding, because a lot of the shops, store owners aren't catching on to these books being that hot. So if you watch the Hot 10 or our show Friday night and you go Saturday morning and you're flipping through dollar bins, you're going to find some of these books.
Most store owners do not watch top 10 lists. They don't have the time. They don't have the energy. And I don't know why. I don't know why they don't run them in the store. If I owned a comic book shop, there'd be 3 TVs on the wall, and they'd all be playing top 10s.
And most of them only catch on to something being hot because they notice the trend of people buying them up, multiple copies, and then they get into looking and finding that it's hot, and then they're going to start pricing it that way. So if you're quick about it, when he says this book is still in dollar bins, it's still there. Go look for it.
And Travis, you're already speculating. I mean, you're already buying what you like. I mean, that's the best speculation out there.
Yeah.
If you like it, if you read it and you like it, and you keep buying more Preachers and then the omnibus of Preachers, and then that's part of the spec market, and you're already in the game. You're already doing it, because if you like it, guess what? There's somebody else out there who likes it.
I just got to wait till the rest of the world wakes up to my fucking taste.
Absolutely.
Up to me.
Why can't they have the fine taste like I have?
Yeah.
One day.
Tokyo Ghost gonna make it. Anyway, I love the top 10, but my whole thing is I'm trying to wait to get on that podcast. You know what I'm saying, Brian? I'm trying to wait to get on that podcast, baby.
You got to make a special appearance to Phoenix.
Yeah, you got to connect up here in Phoenix, brother. Hit us up.
I would normally be there right now. I would be live with you guys every summer. I would be there right now, man. That was kind of my disappointment. I was looking forward to the summer. I was going to hit you guys up, and we were going to go like long box surfing. But I'm here with Corban 19.
I just live in Maricopa and I'm not on the podcast, so don't let them lie to you, Trav. You gotta.
We've been up there. That's true.
Kyle's been on the podcast twice, and I've never been on the podcast. Sorry, 3 times.
Dude, I injected. I swallowed like 6 Lysol wipes last week, hoping that it would trip me out enough to get on the podcast. But I just got a stomachache, and it was no big deal.
I think you have to wash Brian's hair like 3 times and condition it and blow dry it and and brush it.
Hey,
Matt, I only wipe my ass with psychedelic toads.
What?
Yeah.
What's up?
Check out the screen share I just put up.
Whoa.
Oh, I got that book. Just joking.
Good luck. So just be like $40,000, guys, for a comic book that came out a couple of years ago. $40,000. So don't definitely, if you have this one, don't sell it.
Is someone gonna buy that for $40,000?
Yeah, I've never seen one ever other than this listing.
Wow.
Yeah.
The fact that it's up there, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not even a 9.8 or signed.
Yeah, it's a 9.6.
And not
It's
signed.
a 9.6 graded, not signed. $38,000. Get the fuck out of here.
Wait, let's read the description. There we go.
It's a 1 in 15.
Oh, I mean, that's still a lot of money.
Oh, wait, hold on. What does it say?
This comic is a
J.
joke.
Scott Campbell variant.
It's a sketch variant of already hard to find and desirable one. So it's a variant of a variant.
Oh.
It's a retailer incentive.
Oh.
No more than 10 copies ever printed, maybe 20 at the most. Only 5 have been graded.
Jesus.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah.
That's not even a Star Wars cover. Like, that can't be worth it.
So it's listen, comics can make you some money. They can make you some money if you do it right.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get into a little bit of odd news and get the hell out of here tonight because
it's about that time.
It's already late. So let's get a little bit of odd news and get the hell out of here.
If you want to fight, tonight.
Oops, there we go.
Tonight, the Six Dad World Primetime Special with people just like you, only more pathetic.
It's a bit nutty.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
I heard Austin Powers and I heard Old School in there. I didn't know what the first one was from.
That's Daria.
Six
Sad
like
World
that.
from Daria. So Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, they are petitioning their government to change the name of the city of Columbus to Flavortown in honor of Guy Fieri.
Stupid.
So because we're at that whole time where, you know, history needs to be erased and Christopher Columbus is a bad man. Columbus, Ohio, they want him. Huh? Well, that's what it is for. Columbus, Ohio, they want to change the name to Flavortown.
I think we should meet in the middle and call it Cilantro Town.
I'm taking you.
It starts with a C. It's got like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Flavortown.
Yeah,
Guy Fieri, Flavortown.
Parsley City.
Yeah.
They just named
How are they spelling flavor? The British way or the American way or like a cool like slangy way?
Flavor. Flavortown for Guy Fieri.
What's the variant cover on that town name look like?
I would know.
Parsley City.
For our next piece of odd news, we're heading to Richland County. Actually, go ahead. What were you gonna say, Travis? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was stretching on.
Oh.
I was stretching on.
So for our next piece of odd news, we're heading to Richland County, South Carolina, where a man and his girlfriend were arrested for stealing a 2-liter of soda from a Pizza Hut at gunpoint.
What kind of soda? Did it say the
Pepsi.
flavor? Did it say the Flavor Town?
Pepsi. A 2-liter of Pepsi. at gunpoint from a Pizza Hut.
Give me
Clear, new, old school. What's the
regular old?
What's the
Pepsi.
vintage on this? I'm speculating everything now, guys. I need to know what the value of Pepsi was.
Right. I feel like Pepsi is kind of like placating the Pabst of soda right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Pepsi's
in
gross.
this storyline.
It is gross. It's too sweet.
Did you guys ever have, when you were kids, my sister was a Coke girl. She used to collect Coke stuff. And so then I was 4 years younger. So just by like animosity, I was like, I'm a Pepsi guy. So I only drink Pepsi only because my older sister liked Coke. Did you guys have like a teenage preference at like a soft drink place?
Pepsi.
Or a soda fountain?
Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper and
I don't
Squirt.
like
That's
Dr.
all I
Pepper.
drink.
Yeah, I don't got to answer that question. Yeah.
Mr. Pibb.
Dr. Pepper
Mr.
and
Pibb
Squirt.
is way better than Dr. Pepper though. Pibb
But if
extra.
I had to
There's
choose,
more caffeine in it.
Yeah.
if I had to choose between the colas, I always went Pepsi because they were the ones that had the Star Wars cans and they're collectible.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, the soda industry has got to be hurting, right? Because I remember as a kid, you just drank soda because that's what your parents bought and that's what you drank. So you would use it to quench your thirst. But now, as being a 36-year-old and looking at like health and stuff like that, you're like, soda is the worst thing you can do for you. I don't drink soda anymore. Do you think the soda industry has dropped? Hey, Brian, the speculator here. What's the speculation on the soda industry? What are we looking at here?
They all pivoted over to energy drinks, man. They're making money hand over fist.
See, energy drinks I get because if I'm going to drink something, I want to get a high from it. I don't want to get some sugary thing. If I'm going to drink something, I want it to either spike my vodka or I want to freaking be like the most mild form of Adderall, you know?
Yeah,
If
they
I had to drink the
energy.
soda that was in my house, it would be Diet Coke. That's what my mom drinks, like
Diet
water.
Pepsi, yep.
Diet
Anal leakage.
Diet Coke is so fucking gross.
It's terrible, and it gives you cancer.
What about the colas that are like one, like Dr. Pepper, like 1 calorie, Coke
Pepsi
zero.
Zero?
Like one,
No.
I like
Yeah.
Pepsi
All
Zero.
that shit.
What about clear
They had,
pepper?
they
right,
had
all right.
energy drinks when I was a kid. It was called coffee. It's time to man up there, America. Come on, coffee.
All right. Question before we move on. We'll start up top with Corbin, and then we'll move counterclockwise. What's your theater soda? What's your movie soda?
Oh, Coke all day.
Just regular
I
Coke.
always-
Okay.
I mean, my thing is, I used to get popcorn, and if I haven't eaten, then I will. Like that'll be like my dinner. But normally, it's a large Coke and a thing of peanut M&Ms. Go to every
Okay.
time.
All right,
I
next.
gotta go Dr. Pepper. If they don't have Dr. Pepper, then I go
He's gone.
with Sprite or orange drink. Orange
Orange
drink is always
Fanta,
good.
solid with popcorn, solid.
I would have to go. I think mine would be if it's not cherry Coke with peanut butter M&Ms. That's mine.
Okay.
Soda, movie soda.
I go old school. I go cherry Coke, but I get red vines and use the red vines as a straw.
There you go.
Shit.
And
That's
also
an old trick,
a little
man. Look at
flavor
that.
there, yeah.
I'm the one. And I'm the
Tales
one
from the
with great
flavor
beard.
side. Tales from the flavor side.
A Diabetes Express.
I don't go to the fucking movies.
I go with cherry Coke. I'm a cherry Coke guy.
What about candy or popcorn?
I do non-buttered popcorn, but you know what I like? And it fucking sucks. I do the shaky.
Because they don't have butter in Tokyo, huh?
No.
Like I don't do the butter, but I like the shaky. Like give me some like sour
Cheese
cream and
flavoring?
onion. Or,
Oh
like,
yeah.
I like that
Extra
shit.
butter on the popcorn and a box of Reese's.
The military base I live on, they just have regular popcorn. They don't have the shaky shit. I got to export them. And I'll stand in line. I'll be like, yo, you want some? What's up, man?
Meet me over here by the bathroom.
Sell your shake odds. Huh?
I'm a shake. And like, oh, keep going. I'm like, oh, man, I don't know you. From the...
I got some fine shake product right here.
That's right.
You know my friend Fred, man. You know, Fred.
Brian would do so well on a military base. He would be like the black market importer of all fine goods. And because he's in Japan, he can export all the stuff that you can't get, you know?
Until Corban shows up and he's like, that's a little dirty. How about you knock a couple bucks off?
It's a couple.
Just a couple.
Oh, man.
What's the next odd story, Matt?
Our last odd story for the week is Poland accidentally invades Czech Republic in minor misunderstanding. Polish soldiers mistakenly detoured and detained a citizen for entering a church on the Czech territory in a close city on the Czech-Polish border. They did not realize that they had crossed the border when detaining this man, and that they are actually detaining him in the Czech Republic.
We are so sorry. We thought you were one of us, but you came in and you were very aggressive.
That's a good act.
How the hell do you, I mean, like,
take a left turn at Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry, my compass broke. He was holding vodka. He had to be one of us. I don't get it. I don't buy it. I don't.
Needs to be forgiven in a day and age when like countries are trying to keep their borders tight. They're trying to keep like their citizens safe. You have to forgive maybe a little bit more aggressive animosity, being like, whoa, what's your passport? Who are you? What's coming from? Where are you coming from?
I didn't see the sign that says leaving Poland.
And
You're now entering.
You're now entering Russian territory.
I mean,
but I feel like the Polish apologize for a lot of stuff. I feel like the Polish apology is like an American knock-knock joke. It's just constantly, all the time. It's just like a bare minimum of like, we're sorry, we're Polish.
Who's there?
And that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Why can't we just spray dotted red lines, spray paint dotted red lines on everybody's borders, and then we don't have to worry anymore? Or just use that crap from the supermarket. Nobody will the plastic strips in the supermarket on the conveyor belt. Nobody dares cross that shit. Just put that stuff down.
Hey, we go this way. Hey, what are you doing in that church?
Corban, you'll like this in Japan when you go on like Japanese Tinder, because it's we're in a foreign country. A lot of the expats. Yeah, it's getting close. Let me get close here. So Corban, when you go into like Japanese Tinder, it's like you have a lot of Japanese, of course, and a lot of Asians. But the expats you have are a lot of Eastern Bloc. So you have a lot of Russians, Ukrainians, Romanians, and so. You go on dates with these people, and these are parts of the world that I know nothing about. And like, I'm not going to like, hey, what's your next vacation? I'm going to go to Ukraine. But you get to meet these people. You get to understand, like, oh, this girl from Romania. You know what? Russia was a real asshole to Romania for many decades.
Years.
So like that. I'm learning about Cold War Europe through Tinder.
Cultural history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Recording. I like
women are freaking hot.
Yeah, Ukrainians. Yeah, and you got
they are good looking.
Bordello, great Ukrainian band.
I guess that just shows that learning doesn't stop. Many different forms.
It doesn't have to be unpleasant either.
I'm trying to get her to learn about my Corban-19. She's trying to teach me about her world. I mean, it's an exchange of information. I'm all about that. Thank you.
I would love to do a couple of evenings out in Tokyo with Corban-19. I feel like we would
show up really by how many books it is.
I feel like we would be pretty good wingmen. I feel like we would get the vibe pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I learned that girl with the big old Corban-19. She had this mushroom imprint right here. I learned her good with the Corban-19.
I'm done.
And then I had to get a new dishwasher. Where do you go buy your dishwasher at? Or
this is good, guys. This was my favorite. One of my favorite appearances on Absolute Geek. I feel like it was nice having like 5 people to talk to. It was a good time.
Yeah, this was
Yeah, that was fun.
You're like 4 hours in. Good on you.
It didn't even feel like it either. It was
that was solid.
Yeah, that was good.
I guess that's a good place to end it with Corban-19, huh?
Great episode. We're doing great.
Yeah.
Let's end it.
Well, I
Hey
mean,
guys, I want to say this about Corban 19. It's not a death sentence, okay? If
No,
you're
it's
old,
it's a minor
for
prick
sure.
with a little bit of uncomfort.
No, it's devastating. All right, it's contagious. It can't be stopped. It can't even really be contained. Just
I don't know why you didn't hit end.
It's a
end
minor
session right
prick.
there,
It's a
Matt.
minor prick, a little bit of pressure, and a little bit of uncomfortable feelings for a
maintain
few
that
hours.
social distancing, or you will catch
It's a whole lot of love.
Yeah.
It's just
silent killer. All right.
You're not putting that in me.
There you go.
The test to find out whether you had it is so intensive too. So we'll just
Those aren't
not right.
pillows.
All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to stop this week. Thank everyone for hanging out with us in the chat for this rather long episode. Guys, if this is your first time finding us on YouTube, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening back on Monday, please hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review, as it helps us tremendously in the podcast standing.
Get through how far the episode.
Yeah, I would love to know that too. If this is your first time on YouTube, hit that notification bell so you know we go live every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Next week, join us next week as we have a big interview going down next week live here on the show. We are going to have actor Jack O'Halloran, who's best known as Nun from Superman 2. He played one of Zod's henchmen in Superman 2, so he's coming on the show next week and going to talk with us for a little bit, so look forward to that. And for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast, I am Matt.
I'm Kyle.
Solo.
I'm Brian.
I'm Corban.
I'm Travis.
And we'll see you guys next time. Corban 19 out.
My voice got way too high on that one.
That was a fun one. I enjoyed myself a lot.
Me too. Good conversations. Felt like a Brady Bunch full cast over here.
All right, fine, cool. So I guess I'm not on next week because you got celebrities on.